everyone. This is the Easy Allies podcast. I'm your moderator, Kyle Bossman, and joining us this week, Daniel Bloodworth.
Hello.
Michael Huber.
Hello.
And Brandon Jones.
Hello.
Jones. That's
Kicking it
so
up.
good, dude. I need that.
Kicking it up a notch. I need it too.
Yep. Blood, what's your goal this week?
My goal is to not do anything that will feed into the smug blood mythos.
Oh, good luck.
Good luck. That's really good.
I feel like that emote has like shaped my actions in ways that they are no way intended.
Oh, yeah.
Because I'm a very just kind of like straight to the point, logical person, and so like half the times Brandon calls out me being smug, I'm like, what?
That's a smug
What
blood.
did I do?
Okay, not this week. Humble blood.
Humble one.
Huber, what's your goal this week?
To talk about the Dreamcast.
Wow, great
Ooh,
goal.
whoa.
Jones, what's your goal this week?
My goal is to reference my friend here, who's going to speak for me, my little hand puppet friend here, who's going to speak for me at some point. At some point in this podcast, I'm not going to have an answer, and I'm going to have to throw it to my friend here, and he's gonna fill in for me.
Jones, in my wildest dreams of what goals would become, I never fathomed this. I could have never hoped even that
Me neither, Kyle.
we would get to this point.
Me neither. If you're listening at home, nothing's going to change. You're just
you're
going to be
listening
like,
at home-
Brandon answered that one.
Jones held up his hand as if it is a little mouth. Oh my goodness, it's like a little snake.
Yep.
Okay. Oh my goodness,
do it.
I can't wait till that guy speaks. My goal is actually, it's an old Final Bossman rule about speaking about games in the present tense, as opposed to past
Yeah.
tense. That'll become more relevant when I explain what this week's show is about, but that's my goal this week. Let's talk about corrections. Begin corrections music, please. Kung Fu Master is the arcade name of the NES game Kung Fu.
Ooh.
Yeah. Minecraft is coming out in May for the Switch. Remember, I asked the panel, Jones, I was like, do you know what big exclusive game is coming to the Switch in May? Everyone in the comments corrected me on this, despite the fact I said what exclusive is
Yeah.
coming to the panel.
Minecraft is not exclusive.
It's not an exclusive, but it is a huge deal. It's worth bringing up that May does have a big Switch game, and that big Switch game is Minecraft. It's worth bringing that up. It absolutely is.
Star Wars Episode 9 just announced that it was coming out on the same day as
what?
the Minecraft movie. Get out of the way, Minecraft.
See ya, Minecraft.
Get out of the way.
See ya.
I'll probably play that dumb game on the Switch, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, the portability that, yeah.
I said Fire Emblem Heroes when I meant to say Fire Emblem Warriors, of course. Do you remember, Jones? Do you remember me berating Damiani for the way he put the Elite Four champion in the Pokemon Black and White 2 review?
Yes.
I got an interesting comment from someone who stopped watching GT reviews because of that very moment.
Yes. I mean, hopefully they didn't make up this story.
No.
For all we know. This
Very
is true.
This was a very hurt story, like going into how
wow.
like rude it was to reveal that moment in a review. Felt so good.
Because I was scared you brought that up, and I thought you were going to be like, turns out I was mistaken. It was actually another point.
Yeah.
Nope, it's better than we
Yeah,
imagined.
that's right. That's not even correction. I,
I mean,
just
I-
thought that was a fun
I
comment.
feel bad for that person. Sorry.
Yeah.
Live and learn.
But that person's back now.
Good.
And we've learned. We're never going to put the Elite Four
We
champion
had that person
in a
until they
review.
found out Damiani was going to be a part.
Well,
Until Damiani showed up on the
But
stream. and then they
Damiani
were out.
didn't seem to be that concerned.
Damiani was not
No, no, no,
concerned.
no.
He did
Nope.
not feel
Nope.
bad.
No point in telling him that.
Splatoon 2 releases July 21st, not 12th. That was just a little dyslexia. And the full Japanese title for The World Ends With You is It's a Wonderful World, not simply Wonderful World. And corrections music, please. Whew. So y'all know my favorite way to start a podcast.
Game announcement.
Game announcements. We have a weird one. We have a port announcement, which I'm not normally excited about.
Okay.
I'm normally snoozing. In fact, people were upset that I didn't mention when Bayonetta came out on PC.
Oh, right.
And I didn't, what did we say? Yeah, Bayonetta, cool game. It's nice Sega's putting that game out on PC. However, there's this kind of announcement that I always love. This one gets me every single time. Bayonetta for PC had an update recently, a little small patch. And if you install this patch, if you update it, and you're just playing Bayonetta, it's normal. It's the same exact game. However, if you go to little extras folder, you see an image of the protagonist from Vanquish. Okay. All right. So
Oh, okay.
I'm
okay.
seeing some faces that are not as
Wait,
excited
so
as I was hoping.
I'm hyped as hell.
teasing a Vanquish game.
No,
Is-
teasing Vanquish coming to PC.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Teasing that like, hey, this worked. Bayonetta worked. Lots of people bought it.
Yeah.
We're gonna keep going on
Okay.
this.
Okay.
Oh, blood, so cold.
I'm sorry. I.
Where's Humble Blood?
It's what?
So wait, so I should be excited for Vanquish coming to PC, but Bayonetta
Yeah.
coming to PC is like whatever?
Well, yeah, it's that. It's this
The
continued
way it
thing.
was announced.
Yeah, and it's the way it was
like.
announced.
Oh, okay.
I love
Yeah.
that. The Sega's not said anything officially other than just
Yeah.
sneaking in that little image.
Yeah.
And we love to talk about game announcements. We love to talk about that kind of way to introduce a game announcement. To me, that's the best possible.
That's a
thing for it.
fun way.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
for something that if you come out and say, "Hey, Vanquish coming to PC," like you don't really know how people just might decide that morning they don't care about Vanquish, you know. But to let this story come from the fan base,
Yeah.
come from people that found it, and they're like, "No, wait, this is a big deal. I'm going to talk about this a lot." 'Cause
Yeah.
that's clearly what this means from the ground up announcement. I like it.
Yes.
I love and you were saying you're not really big on like when ports get announced or
Yeah.
remasters.
Yeah.
I love that because it's coming to an entirely new audience. I'm sure so many people will give Vanquish a chance now that never did when it originally came out,
And
which is awesome. for the
another,
audience.
I guess, super surprising thing is how quickly it came. I think Bayonetta came to PC 2 weeks ago. And so the reaction to it was so positive immediately. They sold so many, I don't want to say copies, whatever. It sold a lot of digital copies that they're like, oh, we should do Vanquish too.
Well, Vanquish is probably they're literally sitting on the Vanquish button, being like, "And sales are all right."
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah.
now we're going. They basically told the team the day before, "Do it." You know, that whole plan we had, it's a go.
Do you think there's a little binary domain button too, or are we stretching at that point?
Probably not, but that would be amazing.
I don't even what.
I
remember
that
that
was the
title.
shooting
Was it
robots
this-
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
it's awesome.
both Bayonetta and Vanquish were
Wow.
platinum.
You're right.
So
Yeah.
Binary Domain was
I forget who
somebody
did it.
else.
Still published by Sega.
Yeah.
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 But that's what I'm saying is like I think, yeah, it's the Sega Platinum combo that's working there.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the best version of Bayonetta is that PC version. And so this will be the best version of Vanquish. That is cool. It's a cool way to let that game live on forever in the best possible way. Absolutely.
Steam sales.
Yep. Not a controversial thing, though. Not really much to discuss. We'll move on. Oh, here's controversy.
Well, people don't know what Vanquish is. Shinji Mikami.
So, no, tell me more. What is Vanquish?
Shinji Mikami, you're like a soldier on.
I'm
like a,
Shinji Mikami in this game? Who
Yeah,
is that?
you play as Shinji.
Who is
You're in
that?
the armor for all intents and purposes now.
No, Shinji Mikami directed it. It's super fast paced.
Tell me more games Mikami directed.
Resident Evil 1 and 4, and The Evil Within.
Whoa. One
And
person directed
Piano
all those
3.
games?
Yeah.
Cool.
It's like if you ever played
And Dino Crisis.
I think more people are probably familiar with Vanquish than
And Shadows of the
Piano
Dead.
3.
Yeah, Piano 3
I
was
would
a
rather-
fun pull. I like
Actually,
that.
if I had Bayonetta and Vanquish in front of me, I would play Vanquish. Having played both and always been curious to get more more
Jones,
into them.
I think me too. The story of Vanquish,
Vanquish
is
is
super
right
dumb,
up my
but
alley.
Yeah, it's,
Can't you like flip out of cover?
you like
Yeah, you can flip,
slide
there's a lot of
around.
sliding.
Yeah.
Slide in, but
Yeah.
can't you like pop up too and just like
Yeah, I mean,
like
that's all
out of
thing is
cover
the
and
mobility.
I remember the shotgun of Vanquish is out of
Heck
control.
yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah.
Sliding in close quarters.
Because I think back in one of my favorite shows we never did, and I would love to bring it back for Easy Allies. Maybe like bring users into it. Is Tribute.
Sean's careful, man.
A love of mine, a want.
It's because it's just any moment you hint at a show,
We
it's
did
like,
a show called Tribute where we would get 100 examples of something.
oh, that was a good
Yes.
show.
And we only did
yeah.
we only did one where we did 100, and that was shotguns. And then we
Yes.
did another one.
Love that video.
Zombies?
Yeah, I don't remember what that. But it wasn't 100. It was like 60 something because we just like got exhausted.
Yeah.
Super hard show.
But
wouldn't
when we
call
did
it
the
a show
shotgun episode,
necessarily.
Vanquish was in there.
Nice.
Because somebody at GT was like, Vanquish. And we're like,
Yeah.
oh, okay. They were like, I will get the footage and bring it in.
I
was
wasn't
like,
there
all
at the
right.
time.
100 shotguns. This is a good video still.
Yeah.
That's a cool video.
Tribute shotguns. Look it up. It's probably on YouTube.
We'll add the stretch goal tomorrow. So last week we talked to great length about the NES Classic being discontinued.
Right.
And we said, why? Why could they possibly do that? The day afterward, that's right. There was a report from Eurogamer that a Super Nintendo Classic is in production, will be sold this holiday season. And in the article, they directly say this is why they're not making more NES Classics. They say, okay, well, now it's time to make this. This floored me.
I'm offended.
And I know it's a week later. I know it's hard to just be like in that mode, but like this floored me.
I'm offended.
Why are you
Because it's
offended?
one thing to be like, yo, you had your chance to buy this. We're discontinuing it.
Yeah.
There was never a chance.
Right.
You either pre-ordered it immediately, got lucky,
Got it on
it
eBay.
got it at launch, or paid a ton, off market, eBay or something,
Yeah.
or you didn't get one at all.
Yeah.
And, I've been waiting until these things have been in stores. I was waiting to buy one, and now they discontinued it. So there's this never had a chance.
You getting a Super Nintendo though? Don't you want
I'm
this thing?
gonna try.
So will you try? That's my question.
I'm going to try.
I
Okay.
didn't try for the NES. I will try on multiple locations for that SNES. I don't even know what's going to be on it. That system was everything to me, man.
It's just so offensive. Like, the NES Classic is such a cool item for a gamer to, me personally, to take to a place, to a friend's house, to a family's house that isn't really into video games or hasn't experienced those old classic video games. It's a really easy, simple way to do it. It has that classic NES controller. I mean, that's a part of my childhood that I was looking forward to share with some family.
Never.
Robbed of that.
Nintendo doesn't want you to do that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, everything I said last week, I believe that the NES Classic was like a dead console. I did believe that it had a limited time. That's why I'm so shocked that they would make a sequel to it, and then they're gonna discontinue this thing as well. I don't know. It's a strange business decision to me. This is a rumor, by the way, but rumors from Eurogamer generally tend to become true, especially if they're Nintendo oriented. There is some sort of European Nintendo leak where Eurogamer just is on top of those things.
Plug the leak, Nintendo. You've got a mole.
You got a mole.
But this would have pissed people off no matter when they released it.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh yeah.
It's not like a couple months going by and we're not salty about that anymore. We forgot really. What happened to the NES Classic? I don't remember.
All right, so-
Super Nintendo, like
Yeah, real quick, Blood. I got a question about this because when they do announce it, is this E3 or is this a Nintendo Direct? When do they announce this thing?
Oh. Didn't I answer this question?
Did we do this on Friend Code?
I think we did.
Okay.
Well, the funny thing
it's
is,
not an E3. We did.
They don't
we
do stage
determined
show
it's not an
anymore,
E3.
right?
What's that?
That's over. The Nintendo stage show.
Jones, I have a theory.
We'll never see that again.
I have a theory. It's coming back.
I
This
think
year.
it could come back this
Come back this year?
That's my theory, dude.
Because my theory is no, if they make that announcement. Because you can make that announcement in a Nintendo Direct at E3, but you cannot make that announcement on stage.
Because
you cannot
they're
walk out in front of hundreds of journalists
And
be
deal
like,
with the booze.
I'm sure all of you remember the NES class. Like, it just don't even get there. Yeah.
Shut up!
I wonder
Yeah.
if people at a Nintendo press conference would boo Nintendo if they
Yeah.
brought that up.
I'd
I
throw
wonder
my
if it's
iPhone.
that bad.
Yeah.
I'd throw my iPhone up on the stage.
Every time I think I'm out,
She takes an
they pull me back in.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah.
It's just forever.
It's
with
not
Nintendo.
ridiculous though. It's offensive. I like when you said
It's
offensive, like you're
offensive.
pissed, but it's not ridiculous because it's Nintendo. Like
No, it's
and
absolutely-
That
my,
is
And that
ridiculous.
was my stance last week. Like I was surprised this happened, but I wasn't shocked.
Yeah.
I wasn't like that's so out of character, you know.
I was not surprised they ended NES Classic. I'm shocked that they started up a new one the year after. That's insane to me.
I'm the opposite.
Okay. Great. Yeah, that's what that is.
Every time.
What I wanted to talk about this week is I think we've spoken to it at great length for the last 4 months. Yeah, April's just about wrapped up. How crazy the beginning of this year has been.
Yeah.
It's been a topic of many conversations, and it's interesting comparing it to the end, the last 4 months of 2016, because those games weren't as big. The fall season of video games is when we sell the most games by a large margin. And so it's crazy to me that a lot of those games weren't as reviewed as well. A lot of those games were disappointments. Whereas at this season, the lowing selling, well, maybe the middle of the summer is. But anyway, this idea that we had this huge rush of game reviews, and I did have to like check my stats. Like I was doing averages. I don't know if it's worth it. Is it? I don't want to talk about that too much. I went a little obsessive. But what I want to do on today's
I know Kyle's been
podcast,
talking for the last 15 seconds, but I didn't get it.
what was said, okay, Jones, here's the deal. The games, the last 4 months of 2016 sucked, man. If you look
Yeah.
at
You're
the top
insane.
10 highest
I don't
reviewed
know about
You're
games.
insane now.
Sucked is a little harsh, but
No, you
but-
don't like Dishonored 2, so that's why you're saying that.
But
So
I mean,
Huber, what do you think is the Where do you of the top 10? Where do you think Dishonored 2 falls?
Top 5.
It's number 10 on Open Critic. It had an 86 average, which is pretty
That's
good.
so good.
That's pretty good, right?
Yeah.
So I looked at the top 10. Forza Horizon 3 is there, number 1, best reviewed game of.
Number 1.
Yes.
Wow.
Yep.
Just solid.
Let me have.
It's an easy game everyone can agree on.
Let me hear a guess of what number 2 was. So the best reviewed game of the end of last year. Let's talk in the last 4 months. Shoot out some guesses. See, it's bad you can't even guess.
Battlefield 1.
Battlefield 1 is number 6. That's an 87 average.
Dishonored. Deus
Sorry,
Ex.
that's number 7.
Deus Ex was
That was
like-
August.
Yeah.
Okay.
FIFA.
No. But that's, you know what? It's
I
okay,
don't know when it
guess.
comes out, but I'm
Absolutely.
guessing something like that, like a standard.
I'm going to throw some out that I don't think.
some kind of annual game.
I don't think you would ever guess this. Number 2 is Owlboy.
Ow, boy.
Oh, okay.
Res Infinite was well reviewed.
Yeah, it was.
Civilization
Boy, something like
6. NBA 2K17. We got a sports game in there.
okay.
Titanfall 2. Battlefield 1, as Blood said. Pokemon Sun and Moon. Picross 3D Round 2.
Wow.
Yeah, Picross, a lot of people say. And Dishonored 2. That's an average of 87.8 if we're looking at Open Critic numbers. And if you look at this year, our average is above 90. It's so hard to get a score above 90, and the average is above 90 for the top 10 games of this year so far. And so I think it's really easy to look at those games and have that conversation. Look, all these good games, look at these. What I wanted to do today is look back at the first 4 months of last year, of 2016,
Oh. Okay.
and play a game called 1 Year Later, Alive or Sleepin'? And so we're talking about these games in the present tense.
Sleeping meaning what's sleeping?
It's not hot right now.
Came and went.
Came and went. So it'll make sense. I think there's some of these that will not spur a discussion. There's a lot of games that we're just going to say sleeping across the board. But I still think interesting to look back upon is like, oh, that happened last year? So here we go. From the beginning, from January. Not a lot happened in January of 2016. Mario and Luigi Paper Jam was released.
Okay.
Alive or sleeping?
Sleeping.
Sleeping.
Yeah, sleeping.
That's obviously
Yeah, yeah.
sleeping.
Yeah.
That game's sleeping so hard. People are still cherishing that game? I don't think so. That's a sleeping.
What about Dying Light Remastered?
No, not on the list, Huber.
Dude.
You got these remasters, man. They don't get me
It
heated.
was so good. They added the DLC.
Tell me it's
into it.
alive right now.
But
Is it
that
alive?
woke Dying
They
Light back
added
up.
it.
But a year
Yeah.
later now, is it still awake? Dying Light?
All right.
Is it
I
sleeping?
initially reviewed that game
We'll
2
add it
years
to the
ago.
list if you admit
Lot
it's sleeping.
better, the remaster.
I'm
Lot
sh-
better.
no, I'm sure we got the vehicles and yeah. all sorts of
Final
crazy stuff.
Fantasy Explorers? Do you remember this game?
I do.
Oh, yeah.
Brad,
Yeah.
yeah.
We-
That was
we
one of the
had a
last
video-
videos we produced.
We had a
in
video
Vegas.
we titled "Exploring is Boring."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I felt
my
bad.
God.
Yeah, I that was a
my
weird
God.
game because I cracked it open being like, yes, here we go, and then like 5 hours later I was like, oh boy, I'm so sleepy with this game.
Yeah.
I just can't. I do not have the fortitude to see this through to the end, and I was into it. And
Yes.
it's just a slog.
That's
That
the
game-
thing,
that game
Jones.
is
It's a game I
slog.
wanted to like, and
Yeah.
I couldn't see myself.
Not to
getting into
mention,
this.
really anything released in the 3DS at this point is sleeping.
Yeah.
Anything available for the 3DS at this point is sleeping, unfortunately.
No way, dude.
Just the Switch out.
Pokemon is healthy.
Sure.
What are the choices? Sleeping or
Alive.
alive? Sleeping or grooving?
Or Groovin. You want to change the name of it?
Sleeping or grooving?
Okay, Groovin or Sleepin'. Sleepin' or Groovin'. Okay.
Okay.
Apostrophe.
The Witness, Sleepin' or Groovin'.
So this is where I'm wondering about your.
I think it's Groovin'.
I think it's
Okay.
grooving.
I could see a little groove going on there.
Yeah.
O'Dwyer just did a documentary on it.
Yep.
It was
Nice.
fascinating. Got a lot
About
of buzz
secrets. Yeah.
And he's, he can't stop shooting whenever he does anything, so he just rolls out all these special features, bonus interviews, and all that stuff. So that community will be talking about Witness for.
So this is almost like
The
a
next couple
skip or
months.
don't skip kind of thing.
No.
Like
proven,
if
you
you
can
if
skip
you
it.
hadn't
If
played
it's-
this game yet.
Oh, sure. You would still recommend it. You know, I never
Yeah.
like recommendations, but yeah, I can absolutely see you there. Yeah. It's
Yeah,
Groovin'.
so yeah, grooving on that. Yeah.
Whereas
Whereas those others are like, yeah, they're sleeping.
I think that game will live for a long time.
Somebody just brought it up when I was talking about backlogs and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, oh man, The Witness.
My mom is still playing The Witness.
Nice.
She just did the tree houses.
Ooh,
I didn't
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Got that
Wow.
laser, yeah.
On PC or on?
PS4.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm super impressed. Okay.
I'm super impressed your mom owns a PS4.
Well, my dad
Yeah.
does, but yeah, she plays it. You know what? It's both of theirs now. It's
Yeah.
more hers than his. I gotta be honest. We're moving into February. January was not hot last year.
Sleeping.
Yeah. This
Unless
is why
you were playing Dying Light.
I think this is why this year seems so crazy. Is like, oh, unless you're playing Dying Light. XCOM 2.
I was just gonna say, wasn't that January though? That was February.
I have this as February 5th.
Huh. I remember that being the first good game of
Groovin.
2016.
I'm gonna go on a limb and say Groovin.
It
That game is groovy.
yeah, wasn't there just a re-release somewhere with XCOM?
Um,
Something just happened with XCOM 2. Something just happened.
I don't know what just happened.
Prove it.
Proving it. I'm gonna prove that.
Yeah, I mean, I think that it's kind of like The Witness, and like it may not have the buzz right now, but it's still a really solid, good game. And it's, you know, if you're gonna play a strategy game, that's like one of the top ones to pick.
Yeah, I hear you. In that particular type of strategy, that turn-based strategy. Yeah, you're right, Blood. In that,
Actually, yeah, I've seen some things from some of our followers on the Twitter feed where like they were using our names, putting everyone from the community into their XCOM
Nice.
team.
Oh, yeah.
You know, definitely.
cool. I feel comfortable giving that Groovin to you, Johns.
Sure.
Cool. That's a Groovin game.
Yeah.
Firewatch came out in February of last year.
That game is surprisingly grooving.
It is surprisingly
Oh
grooving.
my
Yeah.
gosh.
That's the last GT review, man. That's a.
Ian and I were at GDC at the awards.
The voice
Oh, yeah.
actress just won an award.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they won a lot of awards.
Yeah.
And we were both just like, are we crazy for not thinking this game should be nominated for this many awards?
Wait, have you
Yeah.
played it?
Oh yeah.
Oh, okay.
I
guess it
played it.
wasn't-
My wife played it like 3 times.
Whoa, hold on.
It
3
wasn't
times?
too recently. It was just September 30th. The
Oh, okay.
console versions came out. PS4,
That's
Xbox
it.
One.
The console versions came out
Huber,
way
September
late.
was so
I
long
know.
ago.
I thought it was sooner.
I'm taking a werehog, dude.
All right. I thought it was. Yeah, that's basically October.
Hold on, I want to know why Blood's wife played this game 3 times. To get
She
I
was
played it 3
really
times.
into the story. She was interested in finding the
Firewatch.
alternate endings or whatever. You know,
3 times,
solution.
Joe?
3 times.
Are there alternate endings? I thought it's just one.
I tested that basically.
Oh, okay,
It's
gotcha.
it's short enough that I knew that second playthrough. I was like, I want to see if I can get an ending that I want, and did a couple things differently, and was like, oh, okay.
Mm-hmm.
And like the path to getting there was a little different. You know, like I experienced some stuff, did some things in a different order, and then. My website got shut down, and I played it a 3rd time just cause.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, that was the
Because
thing.
it was
I
the
like
last review I did there, and I had a lot of time on my hands.
Yeah, I think it was similar with that, where it was like I was at GDC
cathartic.
last year,
Mm-hmm.
and she was just at home by herself with my PC. So
I skipped a very important game. Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
Sleeping.
Wait, so hold on. We should give an official groove into Firewatch, correct?
yeah.
I've seen a lot of people mention Firewatch lately.
And I kind of
Huber?
half said that story too.
Sleeping.
Wait, there's more to the story?
No, I'm just about me and Ian at GDC because it's like
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think it's a bad game. I enjoy the game.
Yeah.
But it's just like the connect between what I enjoyed of that game and like the amount of awards and accolades that it was getting. It's like my head still can't make the connection.
Me too. Firewatch to me was a letdown. So I'm saying Sleeping.
That's a smug
a little bit smug.
That's a smug blood. That was not humble blood. That was not humble blood.
What?
No, I'm gonna
It was
back
a
you
little
up,
bit.
Blood.
I wouldn't say that's full smug. I don't know if that
I'm backing
negates
you
his
up.
goal.
I'm backing Blood up.
Wait, so are we? Is that
I'm saying
Right.
Sleeping.
But the
Ouch.
smug meters.
okay? All right, I like a difference of opinion. I'm cool with that. But Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth.
Sleep.
Sleeping.
Hard sleep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cutting logs.
Wait, panel blood. I need
Um,
something here.
Hard
I-
sleep.
I'd say based on
They just announced
the
the
community
sequel.
and the sequel, yeah, I'd say that game's actually probably grooving.
Oh no.
You mad they announced a sequel, Jones?
I'm mad we're at a stalemate now. It's 2v2.
No. I'm
Stalemate.
not a factor. It's sleeping
Oh, well, then you
officially.
lose.
Yeah. I'm just a
there are
moderator.
people. There are definitely people excited for that.
Yeah.
Like to put it back to sleep. Shh.
Okay, no, that's okay. If you want to call it sleeping, it's sleeping. This is a really interesting one to me. Street Fighter
Digital
5.
World. Sorry.
Digital
Ooh.
World. Street Fighter 5, Huber.
Ooh.
Grooving or
hard.
sleeping?
I'm gonna say Groovin because they just announced some new fighters. It's still ticking. It's still chugging along, but I don't think Street Fighter V was as big as anyone thought it was going to be, and a lot of my perception too with Street Fighter V does come from Ben Moore, and time does not really allow Ben to sink his teeth into as much Street Fighter V as he wants to. But, he was kind of disappointed too. And the way that game launched and, all of the woes it had, lack of story mode in the beginning, I just don't think it ever got really going. So I'm gonna say Sleepin.
Wow.
I think people have moved on, and I think Marvel vs. Capcom coming out.
Hubert,
Marvel vs. Capcom.
Street Fighter 5 is going to be on TBS this Friday.
It's fine.
Think about that, man.
TBS is low budget. You go from ESPN to TBS. That is a downgrade.
Shaquille O'Neal is going to be playing Street Fighter 5 on TBS this Friday. And it's Sleepin'?
They just paid him.
So TBS is... I think it's a TBS thing, to be honest with you. So they've been having weekly tournament, an invitational tournament on TBS. That's been great for Street
Wow.
Fighter 5 in particular.
Wow.
Where they've invited pro players, but they've kind of picked what would be like interesting matchups and things like that.
I mean, the game is alive, of course. If you
Yeah.
want to look at it that way, it's
You're saying it's
multiplayer
not living
game.
up to its potential.
Correct, and that is why I say Sleepin'.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's why it's a difficult one, because I think the community is really split on it, honestly. Mm-hmm. It's like there is a community there playing Street Fighter 5, but there's also a community that's like, that was a big disappointment of last year, so
It was a year ago. It feels weird, yeah.
it's tough.
Jones, you got to...
Oh, I say Groovin. I mean, they still have fighters to announce, right? Isn't there still like a couple random characters in the?
Yeah, there's a
that are
second
out there?
season, and
Yeah, I mean-
today, the third one leaked. So we had Akuma, and we had the woman who wears the Russian, hat.
Yeah, I forgot her name. Sorry.
Oh, me too.
But I mean, if the fan base is still anticipating anything that has not been announced, that's Groovin. I mean, that's
okay.
like that game is still.
Oh,
I mean, we got
Yes.
Oh, is
The
she having a
elusive
nightmare?
Sleepy bark.
Some dreams.
They're
We
still
got-
having it.
Sophie's having a nightmare. If you
we got
missed those.
Tekken 7 coming. We got Marvel vs. Capcom coming. We got Injustice 2 coming.
Yeah.
Time's ticking. Street Fighter 5.
And Injustice 2, I wonder.
See you later.
Oh, it's gonna be huge.
I wonder how Injustice 2 is gonna go.
I think it's honestly gonna be huge. Quick trailer impression from the Marvel vs. Capcom.
Hype.
Okay, that's all I needed.
Yep.
Okay. I Am Setsuna is a game that I was really excited about because of the story behind it,
Yeah.
and I played a bunch of it.
on Switch.
I have not finished this game yet.
Or is it yet?
It is on
No,
Switch.
it came out on Switch early.
Yeah.
Sleeping.
Even though it's on Switch right now.
Yeah, that's the only reason I would say Groovin. Otherwise it could be in
Otherwise,
trouble.
I would
But
say
like,
so.
What, you're just
Yes.
gonna give a free pass? You're gonna say everything on Switch is grooving right now?
Yeah.
No, if it's on
Yes.
Switch, it's grooving.
yes.
Yep.
I mean, it's a
Yep.
recent
No.
release. You have
Human
a lot of
resource
people that are
machine.
really-
Groovin. I am goo. What is
Because
it called?
every single
World
every,
of Goo has
World
come
of
out
Goo?
like 9 times.
Groovin.
because every
No, that's what I
every
mean.
single person is gonna finish Zelda and then wonder what they're gonna do
We
with their
can't-
lives.
Yeah,
You
you
can't just
put your Switch on the shelf.
You can't say everything on Switch is grooving. I do agree with you on this. You can't just give it that free pass.
Right. But that is the first announced like major port of the game. It
Okay.
moving to another substantial console. I think it fits that console really well.
It does.
I
It
think
absolutely
I think
does.
a turn-based game on turn-based RPG on the Switch. Oh boy.
All right. You made good points. We're grooving.
Are you willing to groove on that,
I'll
bud?
groove.
Yeah.
Good point.
Okay, we're grooving on I Am Setsu. That's
All
right,
weird.
all
Okay.
right. The
2016
portable,
is grooving more than I expected.
the portable aspect of it. Turn-based.
Plants vs. Zombies Garden Warfare 2 came out in February of last year. I see some applause for
It's
Hubert.
good. Yeah, at the time, but it's still.
But I'm gonna make you. You need to make a case for why this game is grooving.
I don't know if it's grooving anymore.
Right? Doesn't
I
it?
love it. I love that game
Yeah.
so much.
I feel so
not
bad
any
for this.
and it
game.
lasted for a long
something that-
time.
something
Maybe
that's
like a
sleeping-
free to play, or maybe it's just on the EA Origin or something. I feel like they did something.
They added it to the vault.
recently to like give people free access to it.
Sure. But man, I just
all these games I've thought about for some reason or another in 2017, and I have not a moment. My
Exactly.
brain power has been dedicated
That's
to,
the
this,
thing-
to an excellent game. There's nothing wrong with that game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
It's
that's
just a
what
matter
was
of
fun
relevance.
about this, Jones,
Totally.
is actually going through the games of 2016. Like, oh yeah, that game.
Love it.
Hell of a sequel.
Yeah,
But I am
A lot of fun new stuff. A lot of customization. A lot of.
You're saying February?
February 18th of 2016. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah,
That makes sense.
checks out. Fire Emblem Fates I skipped over.
No, February. Didn't Brad reviewed it like in the summer for Easy Allies?
I think he just took a long time.
Nah.
Yeah.
Oh, fact check that.
Okay.
Fact check that, please. Thank you.
Okay.
That
Wow.
doesn't. It's not adding up to me.
It adds up, blood.
That
Fire
was,
Emblem
like,
Fates.
Summer.
Jones, is that grooving or sleeping?
I get so confused with that series.
That's
I
the
don't
dumb
even
one that's
remember
3
what-
parts, and every time I say
Is
it's
that
dumb.
the Japanese release date?
Oh, that's possible, I guess.
Kyle Bossman, dude, you
Yep.
are wrong.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I was gonna. Yeah.
Where- Hog back.
Japanese release date.
Oh no.
We
But it came out
are
in that year.
worldwide. PlayStation 4, Microsoft Windows,
Mm-hmm.
July
Wow.
19th.
So let me just cross that out. Doesn't even count. Not Groovin. Not applicable. Wait, so is Fire Emblem Fates, is that a Japanese release date too? We'll skip it. Let's talk about Super
No,
Hot.
Fire Emblem Fates was February because I remember I downloaded that for GDC and then I never had any time to pull my 3DS out.
Anytime I say, look, I just don't want to play this game because it's 3 different times over, people just get so mad at me. They say, no, it's good. Just play it 3 times, man. I can't. I won't. I refuse to. Never. I'm in for Valentia. I will. Fates. I'm moving on, actually. You know what? I'm moving on. Super Hot. I think it's a game that's grooving.
I think it is.
I
Groovin.
just played it a couple weeks ago and loved it.
Yeah.
Groovin'.
It felt pretty groovin' to me.
Hell yeah.
It's,
Pick up
it's,
and
it's
play
just
anytime.
The VR version is grooving.
yeah, exactly.
Slightly
Yeah.
separate game.
Yeah, and I think one of the things too that really surprised me when I played that, and I've heard a lot of people comment about since, is there are a couple secrets in that game. There's a couple things, if you know like the surface level knowledge of Super Hot, there's some fun stuff going on in that game that you're not aware of. And I was surprised that cat had not jumped completely out of the bag. That like
Oh, sure.
when I was streaming it, a lot of people in chat were like, "Whoa, what's happening?" And I saw someone on Twitter that was like, "Whoa, I just played Super Hot. I didn't know there was this whole other crazy thing going on." And they were like, "Oh yeah, that's one of the best parts about that game." So it's cool that people are still discovering that.
Yeah.
As a smart move by them.
I've yet to discover what that is.
to not really advertise it that way. To just be like, "Yeah, no, it's a fun game. The orange people shooting guns, you know."
Yeah.
Then you get in, you're like, "Wait a minute." There's
Cool.
context.
Grooving. How about Stardew Valley?
Groovin'. So groovin'.
Again with the Switch, they just said it's coming. Everyone's talking about it. I'm excited for that to be on Switch because they got the co-op.
For a little indie game like that to be grooving this hard it's heartening. I like that.
That is like at the disco club, grooving right now,
The
You go in
floor
there
is
and-
blasting.
blasting
Yes.
Stardew Valley theme song.
Sing the Stardew Valley theme song.
I have no idea.
By the way, Blood, you got my werehog that I got from Huber. WWE 2K16 came out in March. I guess we can't really say that's grooving because a new one came out since,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, okay.
but I will say 16 was
Wait, a new one came out since?
17. Yes.
17 came out, so they put out 2
No.
wrong games in 1 year?
I
Talking
think
about
so.
you're in like March, right?
Yeah,
I
We're in
think you've
April
got
now,
another
so
weird
it's-
thing. Is that like a
We've already passed
single
that date.
version of the game that came out later?
that might be. Okay. Pokken Tournament came out in March of last year.
Oh man, that game went to sleep.
That game's sleeping.
It's sleeping, the Snorlax style.
Yep. It had a chance at Evo, didn't make it this year. That game's sleeping.
It's a wake poking.
Don't wake Pokken. So this is weird. The Oculus Rift launched in March of last year,
That is weird.
and it had a whole bunch of launch titles. And I want to know if the panel thinks that's a grooving or sleeping.
Grooving.
It's grooving.
But I'm worried that the
I mean, if
VR...
if Oculus is sleeping, VR is sleeping. You know, because it'll always come up regardless of what you're playing. Because even if you get into it, if you get PSVR and you're like, this VR is great. I heard about that other game. Like, it's like, that's on Oculus only. Like, you know, like you're going to hear the words Oculus at some point if you own a Vive or you own a PSVR.
Sure.
It
It'll
feels
come up.
like
Yeah.
a year ago, though, there was such a fever and a passion
yeah.
Yeah.
for VR.
A groove.
It was set to change the world. It
Yes.
was on the precipice. It was about to explode
Yeah.
in the industry. And now I feel like we're cruising along down the highway steadily, but there's not a lot of buzz around it.
You think its
anymore?
eyes might be flickering a little?
It's
You
like
think it
it's
might
like
be,
like
while it's
nodding off?
grooving, it's putting on its pajamas.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
turning out the light.
Yeah.
But I mean, I'm seeing
Pouring itself
like
some milk.
more
Like-
stuff from like smaller VR players and stuff like that. So, I think I got like an invitation to E3. So E3 for what?
I'm just kidding.
We need Humble Blood.
I'm talking about email. I got.
Jones loves us so much.
Farpoint is coming out soon. That has
Oh,
potential to be.
curious.
That's
Yeah.
not
Oh
Oculus.
yeah, that's
I
that's
know, but I was just
PlayStation
saying VR.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's kind of VR and yeah.
Yeah. So, and Resident Evil 7 was incredible.
It's
but-
so
Yeah.
weird. It is in a weird spot right now where you can't sense the enthusiasm.
Yeah.
I'm still playing those games, but yeah, I'm one person. Star Ocean, Integrity, and Faithlessness.
Sleeping hard.
That's all that needs to be said.
Yeah, no.
Huber, I got one for you,
I
bud.
know what's coming, baby.
You know
April.
it's April. It's early April. What happened in early April last year?
The one true goatee of 2016.
What is that?
Uncharted 4: Thief's End.
Oh no, I
Oh,
have
was that June actually?
Quantum
I think it was
Break.
April. Oh, Quantum Break, baby.
Oh, mega snooze.
They can sleep in.
It's sleeping.
Oh really, Huber? You're not gonna
It's
give that one?
sleeping.
Oh no.
I love the game. I love it
Yeah.
to death.
Yeah.
But I am in a very small group
Sure.
that loves Quantum Break.
First review.
First
First
review.
TCL
I think a
review.
lot of people will not go back to give that game a shot. I think it came and went. It's asleep.
Right.
It's out back. They've had enough.
Let it lie.
Let it lie.
That's what we have to do
Was
for
Uncharted
Quantum
April
Break.
or June?
I
was
don't
June,
think it was
right?
April. I
I
really
think it was
don't.
June.
Yeah.
It was June.
Because I don't have it down.
Yeah, it's June.
But as we can see, this list isn't completely accurate.
Yeah.
Dark Souls 3.
Groovin, baby.
It's
Groovin'.
grooving, right?
Yeah.
Why is it grooving?
The DLC
Yeah,
just came
DLC.
out
Yeah,
a
the
couple
DLC
weeks
just came
ago.
out for sure.
Hot DLC. I hear Easy Allies is doing a retro too, which is big
It helps.
news.
It's definitely boosted it.
Yeah.
But it's interesting. When you go to Twitch, I like to do this actually, see what games are trending on Twitch. Dark Souls 3 is up there,
Yeah.
which is crazy. It's cool that that's a very streamed game.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of stuff that can happen. A
Great.
lot of player individual stories. you
Yeah.
know?
Great stream game too, because there's audience that would not play it. They can just watch it instead.
Yeah.
I think games like that help. It's just
Absolutely.
like, yeah, I'd rather just watch.
If you're on Twitch, you're grooving.
Yeah.
But I
Counter
think
Strike Groove.
it is. MOBA's
is.
grooving.
Mo's are grooving.
Ratchet and Clank.
Sleeping.
It is sleeping. Even they got a movie too and
The
everything
movie
on Netflix.
tanked
But, yeah.
hard.
Yeah, that's a factor, right?
Huge tank.
Here's the thing, though.
I'm
It's a-
still.
That was supposed to be a reboot, and I don't know.
Man, I'm still losing sleep.
I don't
over
know
that
what's gonna happen.
review.
You don't
Like,
think there's a Ratchet and Clank 2 based off what
reaction?
happened here, Blood?
I don't think there's a hunger for it right now.
Sure.
For Ratchet specifically, or
For the
For-
reboot
for-
to get a sequel, Ratchet and
Yeah, like
Clank
if
2.
we saw E3
Oh, right.
Ratchet
Yeah.
game, like, how well would it go over?
yeah, gorgeous game though, man. Oh,
Ugh.
just a pretty game to see happen.
Yeah.
Whether
I-
backgrounds or stuff exploding or what you just.
It's kind of like Insomniac. It's okay if you just work on Spider-Man.
Oh yeah.
I think
please.
I think that's kind of where we are right now.
Yeah.
It's like, you know,
If you're planning a Ratchet sequel, stop it right now.
Just
Let's put those people
one
on
of my-
cleaning up Spider-Man. We're
Yeah.
making sure it's real good.
That's one of my favorite franchises, and I think, like Blood was saying, that is a tough spot. You know, it kind of there was this whole new audience for Ratchet and Clank because it was a reboot. So many people that had never played a Ratchet and Clank game were blown away. They were like, "Wow, this is absolutely incredible!"
yeah.
And then there was the audience of people that have played every single one or played a bunch of them, where it's like, well, we've already done a lot of this. We've already done, you know, this story, this kind of a reimagining of the first game. So it's like coming off of Kraken Time, which was like a really great conclusion to
Yeah.
the story that had been told for a long time. So it's like that weird spot of the newer fans eager for a sequel, or the veteran fans eager for a sequel. It's like such a
Yeah.
weird place. So
Yeah.
Sleeping.
Well, and it's had this weird kind of almost B-level marketing treatment over the past
Oh my
5
god.
or 6 years.
Yeah.
The reboot.
That's so fair.
Disrespect.
It's crazy because there's a movie. There's
Yeah.
a movie
Yeah.
in theaters, and you still don't feel like there was that push.
Yep. It was a $40 game. I know
What
that.
was
that
the one
always-
before that? Into the Nexus, right?
Yeah.
Into the Nexus.
And that was
came
like
out,
a really good game, right?
Yeah.
came out digital
People
only.
had no way of
think.
knowing that was going to be a really good game.
It took Huber. Huber had to be like, Kyle, dude, try
Into
it.
the
and I
Nexus.
did. I played it
Yeah.
in the Nexus. Cool game.
So good.
Yeah.
Tail end of PS3. Was PS4 out yet? Or it was like
I think
close?
PS4
think
was
PS4 's
out,
out, yeah.
dude.
Yeah, it was.
It was really hard to go back and play it, but it was so fun.
Oh, to the Nexus.
Quest for Booty's really cool.
Mr. Booty, Kraken Time.
Yeah.
And then to go back to just kind of bare bones Ratchet and Clank reboot was it was tough.
Oh, Bare Bones isn't
It wasn't
fair,
bare-
man. They're doing
It's
a
not
lot
bare
of
bones,
stuff
but it was
in
like
that
the
game.
exact same guns we'd been using forever. There was one or two new guns. The depixelizer was amazing, but it's like I want to kill things with new weapons. You know, I love the variety.
Look at like the rebirth that Tomb Raider had. You know,
Yeah.
that we're still kind of enjoying. Tomb Raider
Sure.
3, there's no
Still grooving.
question that's happening.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
like that is on a trajectory now, and that's because they embraced elements of the original Tomb Raider, but made a brand new game.
Yes.
Whereas like this was kind of like both, I
Same.
guess. It's weird. It was just this kind of weird middle road where it's just like, what am I really excited about here? Like, I love this, but
That's a fair
it's
parallel,
just like you
Johnson.
had this opportunity.
It's good.
You know, I think it would have been really interesting for them to just like you're gonna meet Clank first, like whoa, you know, like
Yeah.
really shake the whole system up.
Totally.
That would have been interesting.
And I think you do, but
Right? Yeah, but I mean,
And,
like
like,
you're
yeah,
on Clank's planet, or
yeah,
Ratchet
yeah,
gets
yeah.
there, or something. I don't
That's cool. Yeah, playing as Clank
know.
like
Just
for
jump
a
straight to the clock,
substantial
maybe
while,
like
yeah.
open with that, you know, and like and
It-
so you know that about.
So there is continuity, like it's kind of going back and for sure.
Bravely Second End Layer.
Boy, a
Sleepin.
game I thought I was gonna play
Me too, Jones.
extensively.
Yeah.
Sleep.
And what's crazy, we've
Yeah.
already seen that team's next game, and it's not a Bravely Default game.
Octopath
Yeah.
Traveler.
Is it called Project Octopath Traveler?
Probably.
Which is
I
crazy.
love games that are called projects.
But and like Octopath Traveler is such a specific name that you don't see after Project very
Yeah.
often. Yeah, that's all right. It's like all right, and it looks really cool. It's okay if you're sleeping. It's okay,
Yo, sure, yeah.
but
Is that on 3DS coming up? Octopath.
Let's switch.
Switch,
Yeah.
baby, that's a Switch game.
Nice.
Yes,
Cool.
finally,
I haven't seen that.
this is I will not accept. This podcast will not move forward until I hear 3 sleep-ins on this next
Whoa,
one.
whoa.
Star Fox Zero.
Sleeping.
Oh yeah, that's sleeping.
Hold on a second. I'm gonna have to check with my friend here.
Okay. Oh god.
Star Fox Zero. I didn't play Star Fox Zero. Well, it came out on Wii U, and I thought it was really cool because it had the mechanic with like in the cot sleeping. Really? You're not gonna sleeping? Okay, so sleeping. I was trying to. It had elements, you know. It's like we can. I just want to have a conversation. Sleeping. Okay. He's not in.
Because Jones, you
He's
make
not
you make a great point. I don't want to be like your hand over here. We
Right.
can talk about Star Fox Zero because it
Right.
is a huge deal. It is.
Right.
It's a Star Fox game, a canon Star Fox game. It should be a huge deal. It should be
Yeah.
Groovin. Does it have a legacy? The hand says no. Does
That
it really?
game is sleeping. It's not only sleeping, it's having nightmares right now. Star Fox is asleep in a cold sweat, shaking with nightmares, thinking
Yeah.
about its glory days of
Yeah.
the past.
I do. I feel like that was its shot.
Yeah.
Ugh. But am I being too negative?
No, I mean I still want to play that game sometime, but I
Ooh, it's got a
I-
little groove.
yeah.
It's got a little groove.
I didn't make the time.
You know, a whole nother conversation I'd like to have is if Star Fox is a 7, is that okay? You know, like when a game comes out and it's just okay, but it has that Star Fox legacy.
Yeah.
It's been gone for so long. You know, we want it to be so great, but it comes out and it's just okay.
Yeah.
You know, if you weren't really waiting or hyped for it that much and you played it, you'd be like, oh, this is good. This is fun. I'd recommend this. But it's like, wow, Star Fox is coming back.
I'd give it like a 4 though. It's 4 on the Kyle scale for sure. But you're right, Hubert. I think that's a fair point. Is that it is a 7, right? It is that kind
But
of
it's
game.
coming back. Star
Yeah.
Fox, so it should have been better.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think it was such a risky, weird control thing, and it's a cool idea. I think so many people just don't want weird control things, and so like if you're gonna bring back somebody's like favorite classic game, but you're gonna like saddle it with this moving around and all of that, then yeah, it's a tough sell, because either you're gonna have the patience to figure that out and see why it's cool, or you're just gonna not like it and call it trash.
Yeah.
There is no other option.
There aren't. And I mean, I played through the whole game. I gave it my patience.
Wow.
And I think even with spot on controls, I would still give it a 6.
Well, it's I'm not that familiar with the story, but I
Sure.
mean, it is sort of a retelling of the 64 story too, right?
Just like Ratchet and Clank.
Yeah.
it's a sort of
Yeah.
going back sequel, new stuff, but old, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
And so
it's
that's
muddy.
strange, because it's like, why?
Why?
It's not something you need to retell the same story of.
They were nervous of adding more story onto it, and they're just like, well, it's a simple story. Let's just tell that simple story we already told twice. Because 64 is the SNES game again. Oh boy, I'm
Well,
gonna heat it
no,
up.
64 and SNES don't. I mean, SNES doesn't really have much of a story. Just kind of like go out and kill Andros. Or 64, like it had the thing with the dad, and you had some co-pilots that come in, and
Right.
there's some relationships there.
But the story of
And
64
Starwolf
is not
and-
a sequel. It's like we're going back to that point again. We're meeting Andros again for the first time. I'm sorry, do you all hear that?
I didn't. I was snoozing.
Yeah.
I missed it.
It sounds like it's podcast halftime.
Completely snoozing on that one. Hooah! The following are the official sponsors
Hooah.
of Easy Allies for the month of April. Michael Kozachenko, who you can follow at Misha Koz. Richard Smuts, who you can follow at Thoraxis. Mango. iKeyless. Need a new car key or remote? iKeyless.com has been in the key replacement business since 2002. Check them out today and they can help save you up to 75% off of the dealership's prices. If you type in offer code EASY at checkout, you'll get 15% off of your order. Hogue Law Business Law Firm. Whether you're starting a business at level 1, stuck fighting the dreaded fundraising boss, or finally cashing out with a well-earned high score, you need a good business lawyer at your side. At Hogue Law, they're not just attorneys, they're entrepreneurs with more than a decade of experience representing software, hardware, and game developers, and were developers themselves. They're proud to support the Allies, so check them out at www.hogelaw.com. Scorn, an atmospheric horror adventure developed by Ebb Software, set in a nightmarish universe of odd forms and somber tapestry. Go to scorn-game.com for more information. Sweet Justice, a sound design company from England that focuses on audio for game cinematics and trailers. They're also heavily involved in sound design and sound implementation for games. They've worked on Battlefield, Mirror's Edge, Call of Duty, and a load of indies. You can see and hear their work at www.sweetjustice.audio. All of these links are available in the description. Thank you to our sponsors.
Thank you, sponsors.
And that's April. Mwah.
Yeah, which means this. We're also thanking our producers this week
Podcast
as
producers.
well. Yeah, podcast producers. It's now time for love and respect.
Love and respect.
Now, yeah, we can do this one. This is not a now. This is not a. I'm sorry for introducing this in a sassy fashion.
Hey now.
Hey
No-
now.
Did you almost summon
Hey now.
All Star?
What now?
Oh, okay.
Oh, so hey now.
Yeah. You summoned them. Okay, so, hey allies, I recently finished Shovel Knight Spectre of Torment. I really enjoyed the game, but I couldn't help but be somewhat disappointed by the story. Bothered, sorry. While it isn't really bad, it kind of felt pointless because, well, it's a prequel. There's almost a feeling of dread for me when playing a game or watching a movie that's a prequel in a franchise, mostly because I know the ending has to, in some sort of small way, connect to the continuity of the rest of the series, and that creates predictability that often hurts the final hour or two. So my question to the panel is it possible to make a prequel that adheres to the lore, but at the same time can still be surprising? Also, any suggestions of games or movies, here you go, Huber, that do this right would be appreciated. Love and respect, Sam. Oh, Jones wants first in on
You can
this.
go ahead, John.
Go
Not
ahead, Jones.
necessarily a prequel. It does get into some early stuff, but the Evil Within 2 DLCs
Nice.
I thought were fantastic.
fantastic.
Tell us why.
because-
Tell us why.
Well, part of this
It's,
is,
it's kind of parallel,
Yeah.
but
but there are some bits
Yeah.
clearly that happened before any
Yes.
of this stuff went down.
Okay.
yes.
And Evil Within kind of gets a pass because it is a nightmarish amalgamation of who the hell knows what's actually happening here. But it is that context that's fascinating to explore these nightmarish events from two perspectives.
I do feel
because
like
you go into
DLC
things expecting like, oh, I remember this from Evil Within, then you're like, wait, that's not how that happened, and so you realize like, oh,
Yeah.
these people were actually experiencing different things.
Yeah.
And so that means neither one was real. So what was actually happening? And I was very interested in those, surprisingly so.
Spoilers. That's cheating. DLC's cheating.
DLC's not cheating.
Yeah, we're talking prequels. Like, this is the game. This
Why
is
can't a
the
DLC
movie.
be a prequel?
It can, but it's like it's a low commitment. It's low risk.
Well,
you don't
I'm-
have to deal. You don't have to deal with a whole game of playing through this, leading up to this moment.
Well, I'm
This climax.
but
But,
never.
but I just said that because this is DLC that was the subject of the question.
Sure.
I'm never, ever going to pass up an opportunity
Wow.
to talk about Last of Us.
Okay.
Left Behind. You kind of know where it's gonna go with Ellie, but her relationship, you don't know exactly where that's gonna go.
Yakuza 0.
Yakuza 0. When you, I'm trying to say, Last of Us, when you get greater insight into a character, that's the kind of prequels that I like.
Yes.
You know, when it's
it's not about what is going to happen, but why is it going to happen?
Yes.
And that's why I brought up Yakuza, because like from my experience hearing you talk about it, there was a lot of like, we know these people have a falling out, we know this guy dies, we know this person double crosses this person, we just don't know why. And I think that's like the number one thing that you have to focus on is the difference between a good prequel and a bad prequel was all of the when the other than bad writing and effects and acting in the Star Wars prequels is whenever like Obi-Wan was in trouble, you know, it was like, oh no, Obi-Wan, don't fall, and it's like, he's not gonna fall because I know. But if like he died and then became a clone and that was the Obi-Wan, we knew like, whoa, here we go. I didn't know that.
Jones, can you imagine? Can you
Darth Maul's
imagine
just like, "Rah!"
the uproar if Obi-Wan was a clone the whole time?
But then don't even bother getting into Obi-Wan's in trouble moments.
Sure.
Because I don't care.
yeah.
You know,
I
like
hear you.
maybe
Yeah.
show him in danger and just get out of that scene because I don't care.
Yeah.
Whereas like, why did Anakin,
But it's
you know,
also
kill
because-
Padme?
no, but it's
Like,
kind of what I like
why
about.
did these
It's what I
things
kind of
happen?
like about
His
Clone
master
Wars, the
dies
series.
though, dude. Qui-Gon dies right there. That's a big character moment for Obi-Wan.
And it
Exactly.
gives you
that was a
context.
positive.
Yeah,
We
yeah.
didn't know Qui-Gon. We didn't know this
But
stuff.
Jones is saying, like, why have Obi-Wan in danger? Like, putting
Yeah.
Qui-Gon in danger
Or
is
not
great.
necessarily
Yeah.
don't put him in danger, just don't focus on
Yeah,
it.
yeah. That's actually what I
Literally
like
don't
about.
have the cliffhanger Obi-Wan moment because like, ugh.
I like that in Clone Wars, the series, they introduce this character Ahsoka, and it's like, wait, something bad's gonna happen to Ahsoka because she's not around in the trilogy. So it's like that's kind of cool.
I really enjoyed the One Crazy Summer prequel on Netflix because they like make fun of it being dumb. They're like, this
What is that
doesn't
a
make
prequel
sense. It's a prequel to the original. No, not One Crazy Summer. Wet Hot American Summer. Sorry. There's a movie called One Crazy Summer that you should look up. It's very funny. John Cusack, I believe. But
I will not.
But they at the end of that, they made it like 10 years later than the original, and so they're like, we're gonna have so much fun this weekend. We're gonna lose 10 years off of our off our age or something. So like they allude to the fact that like this doesn't make sense. This is completely absurd.
But they also, I think, talking prequels, they do some, I think, comedic, cheap things that prequels like to do. You know, they made someone an FBI background, like investigator, private or undercover investigator. So the entire movie of Wet Hot American Summer that never comes up, and so it's kind of making fun of cheap stuff like that, revealing things about characters. I want to talk about what I believe is the best video game prequel, perhaps of all time, Metal Gear Solid 3. So, Metal Gear Solid 3, I'm gonna say, plays it a little loose with the lore. And I think that's the way to do it. The question was, it adheres to the lore. And I think you do have to goose around with it a little bit. Or you don't have to, but I think you have to allow yourself to. You have to allow yourself to tell a story you want to tell. And what Metal Gear Solid 3 sets out to do is give you context, give you understanding behind Big Boss. And I love that.
Yeah.
And it does find new and interesting stories to tell in a prequel. There is drama in there.
That's why it succeeds so well, is because Big Boss is in the NES ones, but you're still playing a Solid Snake for Metal Gear Solid.
Yeah.
So when you play as a different character, I love that.
You're right.
Whereas you look at something like God of War Ascension, where it's like Kratos, and you totally know everything, like you know exactly where it's going beat for beat. You're like, this can't really surprise me at all. Because they didn't really capture his humanity as well, because something like Last of Us with Ellie and Riley, or Yakuza, again, it's a different twist on the character. You see them before they're damaged or before they're on their journey that, is in like the original source material. So I think God of War Ascension is not a good example.
But I would say like really play up Kratos' awfulness, then have lots of people telling him like, you're gonna get what's coming to you, man. Just so you're like, yeah, he is. I know he is. So it's like, it's not, you don't play it to me where it's just like, who knows how this is gonna end? Be like, I know so I'm gonna play up all those moments.
But
I
then-
do not know how it would ever.
But then
do a
you
God of
look
War
at like
prequel.
Ghost of
It's
Sparta,
like-
which is a prequel to 2, but also a sequel to 1. So it's kind of this like in between game, and that's amazing because you learn all about his brother. Yeah, that's a good story. Ghost of Sparta is good.
Why though? Why?
You learn it's like the most human representation of Kratos.
So you have a greater understanding of Kratos
greater
after
understanding
playing
of
through that
Kratos. He regrets things, you know. Whereas in Ascension, he's like, "Yeah, I'm just working for Ares," you know. And then the other ones are like his path for revenge. So a lot of people say it's one note. I love it, but it's still him on the path of revenge. Whereas Ghost of Sparta, he thinks he's like, "I regret what happened with."
So
Deimos.
he's actually a better character in Ascension than he is in 2.
Ascension?
Yeah. Sorry,
No.
no. What's it called?
Oh, Ghost of Sparta?
He's a better character in Ghost of Sparta than he is in 2.
I think so. Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Distance in the timeline from a thing also helps.
You're right. In Metal Gear Solid 3 case, exactly. Yeah.
But like Knights of the Old Republic is a prequel.
Sure.
Technically.
Yeah, that's a really good example.
Going back into that history. But alongside Star Wars, Rogue One, I thought was excellent because it focused so much on other places, other people, other stuff that was happening. So when it finally, makes this, really hard intersection with, the stuff that we're familiar with.
Yeah.
It's fun to draw that tie. So
Rogue One was really good to introduce no names too, because that adds drama.
That's how I kind of want to end that.
Wait, don't end it yet, because Bloodworth
okay,
hasn't said
sorry.
a word yet.
I don't want to end it.
Bloodworth has not said one word
I
of this whole
want to end my
thing.
contribution. I
Okay,
want to say
all right.
because I felt the same way for a very long time with prequels. It's a spoiler. You already know everything. The prequel is spoiled before you get into it.
Right.
But I started taking the focus off of what happens and the plot, and I started zoning in on characters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if I have a specific example of something.
Deus Ex.
Deus Ex?
Yeah. Human Revolution.
Oh, yeah, actually, yeah, I think that actually, yeah, that probably is good. Because it is a different, it's a different whole take on the series, but it's so far before any of that happens that they can kind of almost create the lore from scratch. It brings in some of those characters and stuff, but they're so early on that there's not a whole lot there that they have to worry about integrating the thoughts of the original game. One of the things I was going to say when we're talking about seeing people being in danger and stuff, that like I feel like they're and I know it's hard to coordinate, but people need to do a better job of that with trailers, because so many times when you like watch something or play something, you lose again. You get these danger moments, and I'm like, well, I've seen something where I know that they're still alive after this.
That's why you have to do media blackout.
But that's
You
how
have to.
But sometimes it's like the first trailer for a thing you didn't even know about. That's
Sure, yeah.
It's
No, I hear you.
so, or they'll do those the flash forward scenes where like you'll see people and then there'll be like a scene where they're in danger and like you already told me that this person's gonna live. So
Yeah.
so those kinds of things, they're kind of weird. And then like you're saying, like the God of War, Gears of War things where they're just sort of
Gears of
rehashing
War
tales
one.
that you've
Judgment,
already
yeah.
read in like some backstory or comic. And I'm like, okay, we're just seeing this thing play out.
Yeah. It definitely affects games. It makes them less interesting. There are ways to do it, but for the most part, they fumble.
What I think, and it's probably not going to happen, but what I think could have interesting prequels is like Uncharted. He's done things before and in between those games.
are some of the best moments of those games, is when you do get those little glimpses into...
Oh my God, Uncharted 3, baby!
I don't.
Ooh, when you're a kid, you meet Sully. Oh yeah, let's
No,
talk
no.
about Uncharted.
No, Huber, we're talking about a whole game of like a younger Drake. No way.
It's already been done. You could do a younger Chloe or Nadine.
You can absolutely.
or...
Blood, I think there's no way you tell us an interesting Nathan Drake story again.
Because that's mostly 3. You're young Drake for... And 4.
for a bunch of 4,
And
yeah.
4, yeah. It's...
Where would you even go, Blood?
Yeah. I mean, his life is pretty much...
I don't know. I
told.
think there's a huge chunk of time between when he met Sully and that first game.
I mean, let's be honest. That game
where
would
he
be
was doing a
amazing.
lot of
What are we
stuff.
talking about right now? If Naughty Dog really wanted to do that,
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that game would be incredible.
Okay.
But they have touched on a lot of that, yeah.
And I do think we kind of lost talking about Shovel Knight in particular. Yeah, I got a lot of problems with that story, but that's a really good platforming game. Spectre Torment. Shovel Knight Solo, Shovel Knight Vanilla, great story. Spectre Torment, I'm not into big time story-wise, but that game is so fun to play. Absolutely, I can't not recommend it. It's Groovin. I want to play a quick game, and this game is actually interesting because it only involves Huber and Bloodworth.
Oh.
All right.
Okay.
Well,
Yeah,
that was a good
Jones.
podcast.
Yeah, Jones, if you want to.
Adios.
Yeah. So I need that break right there, but okay.
Hey, allies, I call this game. Who are you again? Here are 10 games. Well, let's do 5. We gotta. We're only gonna do 5.
Do
Here are
6.
6 video games or game-related things. For each, Daniel must give a few reasons why someone should be hyped, and Michael must give a few reasons why someone should be cautious.
No.
Have fun and always love and respect Chase. So we understand the rules.
3 reasons?
Yeah.
No, a few reasons.
Oh, okay.
So just like a small appeal.
1 to 3.
Yep. Okay. Ooh, I'm gonna start with this one because it's super hard for Huber.
Don't even say Lost Legacy. Please don't.
Not on here. It's all right.
Okay, good.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Dude. No.
All right, Blood. Why should someone be hyped about Super Mario Odyssey?
Oh, I mean, it's bringing Mario back into a huge sandbox kind of environment that we haven't seen since Mario Sunshine. It's, it's really like any kind of like really big 3D platforming games have kind of sat out like the last generation. Like 3D World was sort of like this. It wasn't even Galaxy. It was just kind of like this hybrid 2D 3D kind of feel to it. Whereas more linear levels, and then we've got crazy new environments, like fantastic graphics, and yeah, I think that this is like something that Nintendo is like really putting like their focus on making a great Mario game for those fans.
Huber, why should someone be cautious about Super Mario Odyssey?
I love this.
The real world setting is bizarre.
Of one world. Of one
the
world.
real world setting, just even being in the game for a moment,
Bad
will
sign.
will
Bad
forever
sign.
will forever change your memories and perception of the entire Super Mario franchise.
It's a good game.
What if they change all the people in that city to like the Delfino guys?
Oh, no. I'd be mad. I would be so mad. Don't bail now. Don't bail now. All right. We'll go in reverse.
I'm so pumped about that real world.
Huber, why should somebody be cautious about BioWare?
BioWare?
Yep.
The studio?
The studio who just published.
Oh, yeah, because, Mass Effect Andromeda, you look at that. You even go back to Mass Effect 3, which disappointed a lot of people. So that was kind of the first misstep.
Yeah.
And this is a big misstep with Andromeda. So, yeah, I think, they're on the downhill. Oh. They're on the downhill with Andromeda. You've taken a revered franchise like Mass
But
Effect.
they said they're going to fix it.
You
Huber.
fumbled. They fumbled twice. They fumbled at the finish line for 3, and now they fumbled again with Andromeda.
Blood, why should someone be hyped about BioWare right now?
From my understanding, and this is sort of hearsay. I haven't really looked into this, obviously.
Whoa.
My understanding
Oh my.
is that the team that did Andromeda was sort of the B team. It was the team that did the DLCs for 2 and 3, and
I heard
so
that,
this is
that 3 DLC is the best part.
this is the first.
Citadel.
Well, maybe it's specifically 2, but anyways, it's like the first like full game like they've had to deal with. So that means the people that have made the main Mass Effect games are working on something. They've got their attention directed elsewhere, and they could really be pumping out something that's really worth looking forward to, whether it's going back to one of their old franchises or whether it's going back to Star Wars.
Microsoft's E3 presentation. Why should I be hyped, Blood?
You should be hyped because they have a new system coming out, and they have a lot to prove with that system. And they are really they're back at what they just said something about publishing like 500 Xbox ID games or something like that. They're really behind their indie games, Cuphead forever. But
Hello?
Yeah. So, but I think that I think with this new system, they're gonna have new games that are going to justify putting some more investment into the Xbox ecosystem. It's like sort of like Horizon on the PS4 Pro. It's like I have to play that game in the best resolution that I can.
Huber, why should we be cautious?
If you're tired of Gears, Halo, Forza, you should be cautious.
But they're gonna announce new games, right?
Are they?
Yeah.
I'm not holding my breath.
Let's go. I know it's not easy, but you're doing it. Good job.
This is a good game. Okay, wow. Huber, Nintendo Switch. Why should I be cautious?
Beat Zelda. Put it on my shelf. Am I going to be waiting 7 months in between each game? You know, I look back at the previous two Nintendo consoles, Wii and the Wii U, and the droughts were unacceptable. They were long stretches of a barren wasteland in between games that I cared about.
Blood, why should I be hyped about the Nintendo Switch?
It is the fastest selling Nintendo console of all time. And
Big whoop.
that means that there's a lot of people coming to it. That means that there's going to be more attention coming to it. To counter what Huber said, there has been a steady stream of smaller indie games that are worth your time coming out almost every week.
Mr. Shifty.
Mr. Shifty just came out.
on other systems.
Wonder Boy is on there. Some of them are on other systems. Some of them are coming first to Switch. And then there are others, where, like we've said a couple of times already, like the portability of the Switch really does make a difference. The portability makes a difference for Tetris, Puyo Puyo Tetris, for sure. The portability makes a difference for something like a Disgaea 5 or I Am Setsuna, is what we brought up earlier. And so I think there's going to be those games where it's like, yeah, like Mario Kart. It's like you want to play that with friends in the same room, just bring your Switch and like, here, let's play some Mario Kart right now.
Feeling bad for Huber. We need to give him a softball, one that he can easily feel like he can give us the cautious talk.
Okay.
And then it's
Give
gonna
me
be
some cautious talk.
it's gonna be hard for Bloodworth. This one's gonna be really hard for Bloodworth. Not a lot of hype for this one.
Okay.
The last one game we're talking about, Red Dead Redemption 2.
You son of a...
He loves it. He loves it.
Blood, why should I be hyped for Red Dead Redemption 2?
You've done it. You've said it. You sat in this room and you've been negative about Red Dead. I think the first chance, you beat me to the punch. You talked about Red Dead post trailer announcement before I got to. There you go, baby.
Multiplayer.
Okay, all right. So let's let Blood talk about why we should be hyped first.
Escape.
I think in a game that's flooded with open world games, Red Dead will still make people rethink open world games. Rockstar is very solid with what they do with their game design, and even now, watching Jones's Red Dead Redemption streams, you look at that game on that old dated hardware, and it looks gorgeous.
Yeah.
And now you're gonna see it on these new systems. You're gonna see it on the PS4 Pro, and you're gonna see it on the Scorpio, whatever it is.
But the Benz is gone. Does Rockstar still have the magic?
The lessons remain.
It's got
the writings on the wall.
It's got the magic. I mean, the great things they did with how they did the characters and the open world and the music in that game, bringing in people, who were not video game composers and getting them to create a great soundtrack. I think there's a lot there to dig into and to explore, and I think people are just gonna have a lot of fun getting out on horses and robbing trains and banks and all that good stuff.
Huber, why should I be cautious about Red Dead Redemption 2?
2 words.
What?
Shark cards.
What's a shark card?
GTA 5 online currency.
So what?
For years, they've been pumping out yachts and apartments
And free
and
up
sunglasses.
updates.
I got my little bow tie.
They're expanding game
up.
modes for free because
Pay up
of the
with your
whales.
shark cards. Yeah, you want to do a heist? You better have an apartment. You better put the time in.
Wait, that part's true, right? You
What?
can't do a heist in GTA 5 online without owning an apartment or something like that?
or a friend that can invite
Okay.
you.
Right. Somebody
somebody's-
on the team has
Yeah.
to
Okay.
have a spot you can meet.
Yeah,
So you think that's going to be a
multiplayer.
problem with Red Dead Redemption 2?
I just hope multiplayer is not their primary focus. You know, and you look at GTA 5.
Why would it
and
not be?
Capital
Why
P,
would it
baby.
not be?
Yeah.
Money.
Yeah.
And it scares me. You know, it's all about the dollar. It's all about the bottom line, and that's you know, not a place that I'm comfortable with for a studio focusing on. You know, because
That
I
GTA
know
5
game development is still all about cash, but you know, it just doesn't feel right.
Those story expansions to 5 never came.
They never.
I'm
came
starting to think they
because
never
were
will.
Just making
Oh, of course, not now. Yeah,
billions.
this,
You still think that now?
I think we're past that.
Is story mode sleeping?
Story mode is sleeping.
Wow. Yeah.
Online's grooving.
It's
Yeah.
it is amazing how many things they've added to online.
Yeah.
Incredible.
That was a fun game.
Still never made use of that racetrack though.
Not
This
fun for
poor
you, bro?
racetrack.
Wait, what?
It's this poor racetrack at GTA 5.
Oh, in the prison,
It says
dude.
opening soon.
Yeah, in the prison.
The prison you did get the
heist,
prison.
the heist.
Yeah, there's a heist in the prison.
Oh,
yeah.
cool.
There's stuff to do in the prison, but we never get. To my knowledge, I mean, correct me in comments.
Let us know.
That'd be great.
We'll add it to corrections in
That
next
was not a
week.
fun game. I don't want to play.
That was such a fun game.
It was-
Oh man, poor Huber. And the thing is, you could have played a role, but I think you honestly genuinely tried to say something to be cautious about, which I
Yeah.
really appreciate.
Because Mario and Red Dead, that's a goatee right there.
So let me ask you, are you genuinely hurt about the city world?
In Mario?
Yeah. New
No,
Donk
but-
City? That's going to affect the way I perceive Mario for the rest of my life?
Forever, yes? He's running around in the real world? What is this, Bob Hoskins? Like, it's
yeah.
weird, man. It's so weird.
All right.
But to play devil's advocate, I would say even calling it the real world is a stretch because it's not. They're not going for realism.
It's like,
you-
a human character, though.
Humans
more,
with
more
human
than others, but there
proportions.
still is an animated
Yeah.
vibe to it.
Yeah,
there still is a specific style in how
Yeah.
those people are drawn and
It's
presented
still
and-
Donk and not York.
Yeah.
Right.
Give me that, Huber. Give
I'm
me the
cool with it.
Donk.
I am cool with it. I am just saying it is weird. And
It's
if
a
it
good
doesn't
weird.
if it doesn't pay off or if it's
How they can make it weirder
Yeah.
is if they comment on if
Mario.
they comment on people if they see Mario like why are you so short or like Donkey Kong's making some announcement or something if he's the mayor or whatever, who knows, and somebody's watching him on TV and they're like how'd that monkey become mayor or like how'd that gorilla become mayor, and it's like if they're like commenting on how bizarre how this doesn't fit, then like yeah that'll be
Oh, sure.
bizarre.
'Cause
but
why
if it's
would-
just kind of
Bowser,
like
like-
loosey goosey whatever, if humans talk to Donkey Kong like he was just another person, it's no big deal.
what if it's all about the worlds like fusing or something?
Oh, no.
And that's why like
much.
Bowser's
Too much.
plan.
That would honestly be too much story for a Mario game, I think. The fusing worlds.
Just he finds crystals and he can jump into the crystals and go other places.
That's all we need.
Done.
He's flying around in a magic top hat. That's enough. Yeah.
Or he goes into like a tornado or something. Yeah, when he flies around in his ship, like Wizard of Oz, he
His,
gets like
shi-
caught
his
up
ship
in a
is a top
cyclone
hat,
and-
Jones.
Um,
It's a magician's top hat. His ship is shaped
Right.
like a top hat. That's all you need.
Yep.
You don't need more than that. It's magic.
Bowser in a tuxedo.
Yeah. Bowser in a tuxedo.
all you need.
Throwing a hat around. Okay, Sar. Yeah, let's do one more. Let's be quick about this.
'Kay.
I don't want to hear a single Got that, panel? Great. Hey, allies, my question is simple. If you were to make a game, what game would you make? When it comes to learning more about a person, I find that asking them what they would like to create, if given the possibility, gives much more insight than you might initially think. I might look at someone and think, oh, they would totally make a super brutal axe-wielding action game, but be shocked that they would make a passive puzzle game in mind when asked. This is something I've been dying to learn about the allies for ages now. Love and respect, Steven. Jones.
Sky's the limit.
Sky's the limit.
No budget.
There was
Unlimited
more to
budget.
this that said it'd be interesting to have a limit. No, just go ahead. Sky's the limit.
One of my goals in life
Whoa.
one of the things that would make me happier than anything else I can possibly imagine would be to work with a large team and create, as far as I can tell, the first gothic horror massively multiplayer online role-playing game.
Sick.
It's like Bloodborne, but
An MMO.
But everyone's in there. And it's very much not like Bloodborne, because Bloodborne's
yeah, so
not a real place
explain
where
more.
this would be a real place. People would live there. You know, it's like there's no point in stopping the Frankenstein monster if he's not threatening anyone.
What
you know?
was that MMO that was sort of like that?
There's been MMOs with dark bents,
Mm-hmm.
but like specifically like pop an Interview with the Vampire. That.
Yeah, but I mean,
Online.
it was sort of real
people
world.
preying on other people.
Is there
PvP
player-
zones you
is
do
there
not
player
want to
housing?
step into. Like,
Oh, what was
do I get
that?
to live in a
London?
castle?
there are castles. Yeah, I wouldn't. Yeah, maybe. Maybe you level
Where,
up
where does my character get to live?
you are in the main like area. Like you're like London, like a big version of London, basically.
Ooh, okay.
And a lot of the people that live in this town are not aware that there's monsters. No big deal to them. There's a clear divide between the
Why? Where do I go for
adventurers
monsters?
and the typical. You don't go anywhere for monsters. Like I don't.
So the people in town who are not aware of the monsters just don't see them?
They don't believe them. If you finished a dungeon and went back into town and told a person like there's a through that door is a serial killer, they'd be like, haha, you're funny. Then no.
Okay.
What are you talking about?
This is cool.
Yeah.
I like that game, Jones.
That is cool. That's really cool.
That's a true dream. I can tell.
That's
Yeah.
very yeah.
Hubert, what do you want to make?
I don't know. Like, it would be a horror game for sure.
Ooh. See, I did not expect that. That is interesting.
Survival horror. I mean, that's my passion. Survival horror.
Okay. First person or third person?
Both.
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 What do you mean both?
Both. It ties into the story somehow. Context.
Okay.
Different characters
You
and different
know?
perspectives.
No,
Different
what do you
characters,
mean?
different perspectives. It's all about messing with your mind.
Okay.
Sometimes it's first person,
Uh-huh.
you know, and then something goes down, and all of a sudden it's, you know, you're someone else, or you think
In
you're
one
someone
section,
else.
you just control a swarm of bees. You know what I mean?
Don't make fun of Hubert's game.
I'm not. Are you saying you don't want to control a swarm of bees and like attack people?
I do.
Then we're fine.
Okay.
Because I always wanted like Resident Evil 4 and 5 to have some fixed camera parts. So that's where I go with that.
I don't understand the parts. Like, you really got to motivate this for me, Huber. Like, I don't understand why we're switching perspectives forcibly.
Maybe you're like blind or something. You go blind with your first person character.
Uh-huh.
And then something with like sensory awareness. It go like pans back and you can like only feel something. I don't know.
Okay.
Something like some kind of new way
Okay.
to enhance your senses in a survival horror game. I feel like
Zombies?
there's untapped potential there.
Is there
I know
zombies?
VR is a big thing. No zombies.
Werewolves.
No werewolves.
What do we got? Ghosts?
Ghosts.
All of those are in my
sure.
game, just
Okay.
for reference.
Great.
There are ghosts. There are demons.
Nice.
Demon
You got demons too,
possession.
John?
Got demons. Yep.
Great.
Demon possession.
Ooh, demon possession freaks me out,
Yep.
dude.
There's demon possession. There are friends. There are foes. There are people that are both.
Is there some sort of uneasy alliance?
There's potentially an uneasy alliance.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'm listening.
Yep. There's definitely a mansion. The mansion is the end of the game. But you get to the mansion and you think the game is over. The whole point of the game is like, all right, let's get to this mansion. It's safety. And you play for like a long time, and you finally get to the mansion, and you think the game is over, and it's such a fake out ending. And it's like, no, the game's actually just beginning.
So you thought the mansion was safe.
You thought the mansion was safe. See what I did there?
What I love about Hubert, you started
Enter
off
the survival horror.
it started off so unclear what your idea was, and then
Yeah.
became more and more clear as
Yeah.
we kept talking about it.
Yeah.
Do you go to the basement of the mansion?
You go to the basement, you go to the attic,
Okay.
you go to the cemetery.
Great. Oh, the cemetery. All right.
There's also a plane. A wrecked plane.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
There's a
Cool.
wrecked plane and a real plane, and at one point you,
You have
take
to
off.
swap the wait. You,
You
have to
take
swap
off.
the wrecked plane for
Yeah.
the real plane.
Yeah.
In a
You're
puzzle.
like building a plane. is how you escape.
And that's not even the end of the game. That's
No.
just to get over to the mansion.
Yeah. And
Okay.
the plane crash lands.
Great.
Yeah.
All right.
Because then there's this whole big part on the plane where you think you made it out, but
there's
then,
one of those-
then the plane starts messing with you. The lights are going off. You're hitting turbulence.
And then the
getting-
prequel explains how that
getting
first plane
real
crashed.
freaky.
Yeah. Blood. What's your game?
Well, I the one I remembered for Jones was the Secret World. I don't know what you think about that game. Whether you ever checked
Oh
it
yeah,
out.
well that was modern. That was 21st century.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I see.
This would be this would be 18th century.
Got it.
1700s.
Sick.
But yeah, I was a little nervous when I first heard Secret World announced. I was like, uh-oh. I'm like, oh, they got machine guns. Okay, no, I'm fine.
I can still make my millions.
Right. On MMOs, like everyone else.
No,
Woo!
just
You make
absolutely.
an MMO and you just
But I
rake
can
it.
relate to it. I hate it when an idea I had is already a thing. That bums me out so much. Even though there was like no way I would ever make that thing.
As an,
I
as
totally
an
relate
artist,
to
it's
that.
one
yeah.
of the absolute worst things.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess it's hard because there's a lot of things that are close for me, but not anything that's exactly there. Like
you only get one. The question only gives you one.
what? No, I'm,
Yeah.
Yes.
I'm talking about things that exist that are close to what I'm talking about.
Oh.
So because like I
Smug
want
blood.
something with like, what?
Oh, smug blood.
How?
God,
Certainly wasn't humble blood.
He's never going to get it
Let
out.
him make his game.
You can do it.
Oh my god.
No, but like I want like something with like a big world with like the depth of the Witcher, but I want like that refinement where you like cut out all of this little filler stuff. Like when I open a chest, like I want to always be excited about that thing that's in that chest. You know, like I want to be able to like get weapons and armor that are like, yes, this is like identifiable as like a valuable new part of my tool set or whatever, and I want like I want to be able to like something that like a Metroid or like a more traditional Zelda where like you get abilities that expand what you can do in the game, you know, and make you think about the game in new ways. Because like in a way that's sort of a little bit lost. Well, with what I played, I haven't gotten to any dungeons in Breath of the Wild yet, but like it's a little bit lost there, you know, because it's like you're not going and getting new abilities all the time. You get a lot of them like right at the outset, and it's like, okay, this is your tool set, this is what you use through the game. So yeah, to like really get that character progression, but maybe in like a different fashion where like, you know, you're some kind of like wizard / mage, so you get these spells that are not just like a combat spell, but these spells that you like actually use in the world to affect the world in
I
interesting
dig
ways.
that. Yeah. Absolutely, I dig that.
I found the context for my first person.
Oh, what is it?
So you start third person,
Yeah.
and it's an action game.
Yeah.
You're like powerful killer, Devil May Cry style. You kill a lot of things.
So it's stylish even.
Yeah.
Okay.
Super stylish for like the first chunk. Mm-hmm. Then the demon possesses you, and it's his perspective trapped inside of you, coning your vision. So your perspective is gone.
What if it was his perspective the whole time? And so even when it was third person, he was like on you. You know,
Yeah.
he was the one that was like hovering near you and watching you.
So then it goes first person, and that's when the horror part comes in because he's possessed you, and you can't see as much, and you're more vulnerable. You don't have like your fighting skills. They take your items.
Okay.
That would be dope actually, and you'd go back and like fight the same enemies, but you're like, I don't have the tools.
That's pretty interesting, Uber, because I think that happens in a lot of games where
They take stuff from you.
Because no, like in the end, it's like, oh, now I'm super empowered, and now I'm like in a giant robot suit. You start the game
Reverse
super
it.
empowered,
Yeah.
and then they take everything from you.
Yeah.
That's kind of interesting.
It turns into a survival game. Survival horror.
Mine's like a cat bath game. You're giving some cats some baths, and you like just think, oh, that's a cute cat bath game. Then you find out you are a cat.
Whoa.
Yeah. So it's time for bets. Next week's bet: Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Let's wait for the prequel. Wait for the prequel.
I'm sorry, Paul. It's time to move on. It's like I'll let you all know like 5 ideas. Mario Kart 8 Deluxe coming out April 28th. What we're gonna do is we're gonna go do a balloon battle.
These might be my
online.
favorite types of bets.
Really?
I love these.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
These, and we make a video at
Do
the
a
end.
test,
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah.
Yeah. Balloon battle. We're playing online. How long until we lose 5 balloons? If you're curious, we're picking Bowser as our character and
Big target.
mashing A for our cart pieces. So whatever
Big
one's
target.
Yeah.
Big Papa Bowser.
Jones, how long till we lose 5 balloons?
1 minute 11 seconds.
Ooh, that's a nice looking bet.
1 1 1.
What?
What?
1 One.
Why, what's yours?
72 seconds.
Yes.
Oh.
That's so cool. That's really cool.
Cut me off.
Yes.
And I thought this was gonna be one of the higher bets.
Yes.
Sneaking in.
This number stuck in my head. I don't know why. 37 seconds.
No, I got the under. Perfect.
Oh my goodness.
And I said 3 minutes and 58
Oh.
Looking good,
seconds.
bud. We're looking good.
Yeah.
So here's
The
what I'm
under?
thinking. 5 balloons is so many.
That's a lot of balloons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just tried to picture the most common way you could lose one, and then just add, that times 5.
I'm feeling
Wait,
crazy
are we
right now.
driving or no?
Oh, sorry. We are holding forward on the left analog stick, as we do.
Better hope there's
Holding
no cliff.
forward on the left analog stick is not driving.
Oh,
is
you're
it?
right.
Just
So
hit
our
the gas.
You're right. You're
Better
right.
hope you're not
hit the
driving
gas.
off a cliff, because that's going to be balloon gone.
That'd be a
Yeah,
balloon
but
gone.
where are
Yeah,
we
yeah.
gonna start? Is it gonna be near
Yeah.
lava? I
Yeah,
don't
did
know.
we say anything about stage? Is a random stage?
Whatever online.
Yeah.
Quick
Everybody
match.
votes. Yeah. So we're just mashing A.
It's gonna be a cliff.
Yeah, otherwise you get booted. If you just that's why we do left analog stick for all these games, is if you just hop into a game and they'll boot you out. So let's talk about last week. Oh, let me lock those in. Oh, Jones just saved our weekend.
Wow.
The Titanfall bet
I
was
don't have
really
time.
funny, Kyle.
I would not have time to do that.
Yeah.
I'd have to let
Never
him go.
died.
We'd have to let the bets go.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I would get them alone. Outlast 2 released this week today. How long are the end credits? Jones, you bet 3 minutes and 20 seconds. Damiani bet 6 minutes and 45 seconds. Brad bet 2 minutes 30 seconds. I bet 3 minutes and 45 seconds.
Credits are long in every game, dude.
See, Hubert, this one was kind of a trap. This is a trap question
Yeah, be weird.
because credits are long,
Credits are long.
but this is a small game, small team. Do you have a guess?
I would guess 3 minutes and 50 seconds.
The actual length of the end credits 3 minutes and 28 seconds. Jones was 8 seconds off.
Oh.
That's the trap though. It's like you do think like all game credits are long now.
They're
You think Outlast
long.
2 is a pretty big game.
Yeah.
Small team on that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but like
You look at a big, huge game,
just
and they're like
depends.
8
15,
minutes, 9
yeah.
minutes, 10, yeah.
it depends really. You really have to be very aware of like who's involved though, because Little Nightmares coming out this week too. Small team, but Bandai Namco is publishing.
Oh yeah.
You got all kinds of international people thrown in those credits.
Sony credits,
Yep.
it's on PS4. Like,
And Outlast 2 is interesting because they had like French voices in there. They had the U.S. studio and like French voices on there, and even like some musicians and live choruses that were recorded in churches and stuff like that. It was really cool to actually watch those credits. Still very short comparatively. Small team. Congrats on putting that game out. That is, however, congrats to Jones. That brings our total now to Purple Platypi 4. Red Eagles 12. Caca.
that is decimation.
2 more weeks. If we get 2 more points above you,
It's over.
that's Don by law.
Yep.
Don will join your team. That's your only hope at this
need
point.
him.
You kind of want to. It's like an NBA when they start losing on purpose.
Yep.
You kind of
Get
want to
the
start
draft
losing on
pick.
purpose just to get Don
Yeah.
in, so that you can catch up possibly.
God.
It's the only way.
If Don gets a point, is that 2 points or?
No, it's just
No,
one.
it's just you get 3 to our 2.
3.
Yeah. It's just Jones is good sometimes, man.
Yeah. Feels good about that. I don't know if I've ever gotten a credits one though. I think it's the first time.
Cool. Oh yeah, you said
And
you're always
Easy
bad
Allies
at
or a
these.
GT.
I
I
remember
get the
you,
trailer
like, I'm
ones
always
every
bad
now
at
and then,
these, yeah.
but yeah.
That feels good.
I'm chalking it up to consistency. You guys are making bets every week. You guys are in the zone.
We're in the zone, baby.
You guys are in the every
We're in the
week.
zone.
throwing
Yeah,
a
when
bet
I was
out
on
there.
every week, I was winning bets.
Yeah.
Not now.
You can't stop
Throwing-
us.
yeah.
You can't stop us. We're in the zone.
Nope.
Red Eagles, baby, just too strong. You've got no hope.
See, that's smug.
The
man.
That's
Eagle-
smug. The no hope was
Yeah,
too far.
that's smug.
That's not smug.
That is
Because
rubbing
now-
it in
because
our
now,
face.
dare
because now
you.
if you say
You
they
should
got
have
no
been-
hope, why am I going to watch
Yeah.
the next podcast?
You
You know what I mean?
simple
A
Why am
nicer-
I?
That's
what-
not smug.
A nicer comment would have been, "No, you can come back. Like it's
Yeah.
okay, Huber. You know, like,
People are here for the challenge.
yeah."
It's
Oh,
just,
I mean, the truth
it's
is,
just going to make that upset greater when the platypi come back and we got to pick a new
Right.
team next year.
almost every single bet is dumb and impossible to bet on. Like Mario Kart.
Especially
8.
this one.
We
Yeah,
have
which
no-
is why I like next week's bet.
we
It's
have-
just- it's so dumb.
Like, you can point at us and say, you guys always bet. You should, like, there's no way Jones or I have any expertise running into how long we'll survive in Mario Kart 8 with 5 balloons. It's most of them really are just dumb chants, and Jones and I are just dumb enough to dumb luck into those dumb chances. Let's talk about patreon.com/easyallies, because that is the way that this group of Easy Allies is able to keep making videos and podcasts and streams about video games. Things we enjoy doing very much. We also make things that are only loosely attached to video games, like a Dungeons and Dragons show, a movie podcast, all sorts of strange things. What else was I thinking of? There's another
Easy
thing.
Anime.
Yeah,
Ooh,
the anime,
Easy
yeah.
Anime. Yeah, absolutely. The anime show. Jones, we got to be on that this week. That was cool. So yeah, check out patreon.com/easyallies to see how you could maybe possibly support us, but also easyallies.com to see a nice little place to find all of our videos and our schedule in your time zone. I do want to add one thing. This was even a love and respect question. Somebody asked,
Okay.
hey, is it possible to get the audio early? I'm on my phone. I need to get the audio early. It is now possible. If you are in the $5 tier for patreon.com/easyallies, you get this podcast early. We used to just send you a video link early. You could go to YouTube and watch it
Well,
2
you
days
could get
early.
the SoundCloud early.
And you could go to soundcloud.com, right, and download it from there. However, we now have a little bonus RSS feed.
Nice.
And so if whatever podcast app you're using, it will now go directly to that early as well.
Yeah, and I should explain how this works because
Yeah.
the
Yeah, please do.
RSS is it is unfortunately not as simple as just giving you the link
Oh
because
yeah, do not share it. That's your private link.
yeah, so each person,
Yeah.
each patron has a link that's for them.
Yeah.
For their tier. So if you're a $1 patron, you get a certain link, and if you're a $5, you get a certain link. Whatever is tied to those tiers, that's what you get in your feed. And unfortunately, it's just one feed as well. So everything is gonna get in there. That's audio. So you're gonna have this podcast and Easy Anime and Zelda Talk and anything else that gets put into that podcast feed for you.
Reaction shots as
Yeah.
well. Yep. Yeah. It was funny. I saw a tweet where someone was just like, great podcast this week, and then posted their private RSS feed on the tweet. And so like, I'm not even going to respond to this. I do
Yeah.
not want to draw attention to this. Don't do that.
But if you're looking for
Yeah.
that, it's on the Patreon page.
Yep.
On the overview section, like right before all of the reward tiers.
So it's in the upper right.
Yeah.
Yep.
Or if you're on your phone, it's like below the About Us kind
Yeah.
of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, it's there. Try to find it.
But it's not in the app for some reason.
Yeah, it's a weird thing. That's a totally it's bizarre science. I don't understand how any of that works. Jones, as the winner. Oh, you know what? We got to talk about goals before I hand over the microphone to you. Blood, how'd you do with your goal
Clearly terrible.
of not feeding into the mythos this week?
No, it didn't happen. I'm stuck with it.
No, I think honestly, Blood, in calling it out, it's like step one.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now,
It's
no,
admitting you have a problem.
we're not gonna. Well, no, not like that.
guys.
People won't enjoy it as much if they know that you don't want it. Do you know? And so I feel like that's step one. I think you've actively begun killing the dragon of smug blood this week. Michael Huber,
Yeah.
did you accomplish your goal?
We did not talk about the Dreamcast.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Bums me out.
There's so many
I didn't
opportunities.
want to force it. You know, I can be like, hey, I want to talk about the Dreamcast. Hey guys, about the Dreamcast. You know, it's got to come up.
Okay.
I don't want to cheat it.
Yeah.
You know,
Hubert, Dreamcast is sleeping.
it's sleeping soundly in retirement. It did its job.
It's resting in peace.
It's resting in peace, dude. Nice and peaceful.
Okay. Jones, did you accomplish your goal this week?
I might accomplish it again at a later date as well.
Okay. And then I think I did okay. Obviously, I'm sure you're sending corrections that I talked about a game in the past tense. I won't even read it. I'll just say, sure, you're right. I tried my best.
Oh, sure.
Yeah, but I'm sure I messed it up at one point or another. Don't bother. I won't read it. I did my best, is all I can say. Now, Jones,
Yeah.
because you did win this week's bet, you get the right and responsibility to share your Twitter handle. You get to promote any Easy Allies video you would like to promote. You get the final word on anything you want to reiterate or have disagreed with. And you get to sign off with your trademark sign off.
I'm gonna double down because I was gonna mention something that you already mentioned.
Okay.
Which was that you and I were on an episode.
Hey,
of
first things first, man.
Easy Anime. Oh, sorry. You can find me at Trailer Jones. Be nice if you did. You and I were on Easy Anime, but I was also with Mr. Daniel Bloodworth on Zelda Talk.
Oh, yeah.
Which I had not been on before.
What's that?
Zelda Talk is a show hosted by Mr. Michael Damiani where they talk about Zelda. Talk about, obviously, there's a very popular Zelda game everybody's playing right now, but looking back at other things about previous games, sometimes taking a very critical eye, comparing certain games together, talking about crazy things past the game's merch.
This is a series?
This is a ongoing series
And
only
it's called
talking
Zelda
about one
Talk?
video game franchise. There's that much to talk about.
Is there?
Yes, and that was one of the things that I really enjoyed about this was it was an episode specifically focused on Breath of the Wild, but we talked about the soundtrack and the voiceover. Blood led the soundtrack discussion, and I led the voiceover discussion based on our experience with games, and it was really fun. Not only just talking about one game for a podcast, but talking about one element of that game. And we kind of went into it like, okay, we'll do 30 minutes on the soundtrack and 30 minutes on the voice acting. I hope that can fill an hour easily. We filled. So there's lots to talk about with that massive game, and it's fun to see Damiani the host. He tends to troll when he's the guest, but it was fun to see him in the host chair and just dead serious, just all business. Damiani when he's in that
Asking
chair.
questions and introducing himself.
I don't know when I will be on Zelda Talk next, so I popped in on that one episode, so I will give a shout out to that.
Doesn't Easy Eyes have even this whole podcast all about Nintendo?
We do.
Why would they need a second one for only Zelda?
Ask Damiani.
Because he brought up one really great example of something that he wanted to talk about that was Zelda related, but was really loosely Nintendo related. It had something to do with like the culture and the fandom specifically around Zelda. Whereas if you had a Nintendo podcast, like, oh, this week in Nintendo news, or this is an interesting topic to talk about Nintendo, and it's like, yeah, I'm going to bring up this weird thing that happened in 85 with this one Zelda game you might not have known about. And it's like, really? On the Nintendo podcast? That's what you brought up? So it's those types of conversations that Damiani wants to have. And of everyone that I have ever met in this industry, I think Damiani is the most uniquely qualified, to get into this really crazy stuff about Zelda that you never knew.
Why? Does he have like a special license plate or something?
He does. That says exactly what the whole sentence is all.
He does.
Yeah.
He has a novelty license plate. I don't know if he wants me calling it out, but it's Zelda related.
Yeah.
Because that's the
and
thing.
not spelled in a weird way.
To answer, yeah, you're right. Which is kind of cool.
I think I laughed out loud first time I saw it.
A non-snarky
So it wasn't like,
answer
whose
to,
car
like,
is that?
Like, I answered a snarky question. Damiani puts on that show because he loves Zelda.
Yeah.
And you're watching a show from someone who has a passion for a thing. And I think that's what makes it a strong idea and why it is a show only about Zelda. Because it's a show about something this person loves.
I love a lot of things, but I'm not about to start podcasts about them. Because I'm doing a lot of things for Easy Allies, and so is he.
All right, wow.
And so for him to know this is that important, I'm going to commit to this and bring in people. And appreciate it, not really put a huge strain on the other allies as far as, like, got to be involved, need you for this episode.
Yeah, actually, a lot of the episodes so far have been with other parts of the Zelda community and bringing them in.
Cool.
And I think, in the future they will be as well.
John's your final word?
Good job. Oh, final word. Just because I know this man was put in a difficult situation.
Yeah.
The multiplayer. There are things that are going to be a part of Red Dead Redemption 2 that we do not know yet and cannot fathom yet. They will announce something. It's like, oh, how is that going to work? We're not going to know until you actually get into the game. I mean, that's how I felt with online. It was like, okay, that's interesting. And there's what I think basically we're going to see with Red Dead. With like my if I would put my werehogs on the table, is that with GTA 5 and GTA Online, you had GTA 5 and you had Online, and they were like, yeah, you'll kind of get into the story of 5 and prequel-y, I guess. You'll be this character. And now it's just gone. Now we're just racing Tron bikes and stuff. I mean, like, you don't go into Online to get, like, more of the story. It's just a fun world to run around. And I think that wall between those two modes is going to come down. And, like, you're going to do things in the campaign for Red Dead that you're like, how does that resolve? It's like, it only resolves in Online. You got to get into Online to find out either how that character got here or what happens to that character now, or it'll either be a full-on prequel, the whole thing, or I just think there's going to be more synergy between those two things. Because I think, like, the minute that was a success at Rockstar, they were like, well, now, okay, let's all start brainstorming a way to just knock this out of the park for Red Dead. And all of those commercial things that you hate in GTA, there's no convertibles in the Wild West, there's no apartment buildings, there's no fancy sunglasses, and I'm wearing a tuxedo this week, none of that. So, like, if they have extra stuff in there, it's got to be cool weapons, it's got to be something with a very specific style that fits something in that era, or something so bizarre that it's kind of fun to put in that Western world. Uh-oh.
I have one word for you.
Uh-oh. Smug.
Thoroughbred.
What? Oh. In the horse, or what is that?
Yeah.
Well, that's what Jones means, is that it won't be anything outside of the universe.
I mean, might. I don't know. That'll be one specific. I mean, Undead Nightmare is very far out of that universe of Red Dead, and that was fantastic. One of the best DLCs I've ever played. So, again, those surprises
really
are coming.
excited,
I want to think I got that company downloaded, and I know exactly what Red Dead 2 is going to be. I have no idea. I have not a clue, and that scares me. But it makes me very excited at the same time. But I'm sorry that you had to say some disparaging things about Red Dead.
Is it coming out this year, Jones? Is it coming out?
I think so. I think it's good. It's either coming out in September or it's not coming out this year. They're not going to like bump it to October. You know, they're like, no, we want you to we want to get that goatee. We want you to have enough time. So when you get into, November, December and start talking about those games, it's not like, well, I haven't had time to play Red Dead Redemption 2. Like, they're smart. They're a smart company. They know. They lost that Last of Us goatee bid, and they're gunning. They're gunning for that goatee. What? Okay.
It's your final word, man.
Yep.
I can't say a thing.
Yep, there it is. There's lots of final words about Red Dead Redemption 2. Excited, and I know this guy's too. Cheers. I am enjoying these microtransactions.
The Easy Allies would like to thank our Patreon podcast producers. We apologize in advance for all the ally names we are about to misspell and mispronounce. Ebb Software, Hogue Law, iKeyless, Michael Kozachenko, Mango, Richard Smuts, Sweet Justice, Nick, Jesse Fish, Sam G, Mason Sturgis, Will Schmuck, Shayla Tobin, Professor Metal Gear, Bradley Speeds, John Tyson, Walker Hope, Beaten Down Brian, Jellyfish Rule, Silent Consonant, Charles Anthony Iapicino, Sigma, Robert Stoffel, Stephen Blomkamp, Greg Kettering, Mylene LaPearl Vanass, Andrew Bailey, Hasney, Neil Bruce, Rory McGuire, Elthanis, Jared Reif, Thomas Rogers, Kittikath, 44 Stars, Matthew Pauling, Gino Elite, Yasser Aluseni, Jason A. Sackle, Candy Coated Thorns, Janny Markula, G. Levin, G. Ken, Dan Sebring, Lauren Yvonne, Tim O'Keefe, John Michael, Hitman 47, Ryan Anderson, Nicholas Owens, Colt Doss, Paul Nalson, Jason Joint, Cody Harden, Jay Shee, Wobess, Marcel Giroux 17 Froelich, Yang Lee, Mark Biankin, Corey Jackson, Phoenix Doss, Osama Alarbi, Lee Young, Congolator, Andrew Kidd, Peter Davis, Skolopen, Clayton Ingram, Rack, Kira Stenroos, Rick Argomenes, Adam Pryor, Brad Lohman, Simon Anderson, Gary Fair, Matthias Hesselvig Jensen, Ian Santa Anna, Tim Strothman, Caleb Crawford, DRD 7 of 14, Blue Suitor, Leon Alexandru, Todd Yurkovic, Rezev, Jordan Phillips, Yo Butts, Michael Bisegli, Athena, Patrick Chong, Wesley Welcomer, Monica, Chum Nun, Isabella Crane, Sergio Ruben Hernandez Gallegos, Paul Young, Stephen Last, Ahmad Naki, Missile Mage, The Banana Forklift Killer, Joaquim Morovuo, Gustav Strombaum, Kelvin Hartanto, Marcel Markov, Mark J. Betters II, Nefertiti Jenkins, Joel Olson, David Wen, Luke Arnold, Matthew Holcomb, Daryl Schramm, Brent Phillips, Thomas Wigington Jr., Marius Smith, Turbo Girl, Mickey Drayton, Catherine Lai, Gary James, Ian Bradburn, Juan Yobo, Robert Crouch, Michael Schreiber, Sven von Brand, Mikhail Anyao, By Manis, V8 Dave, Nasser, Michael Wilson, G. Sith, Sean Clinton, Fabian Schuster, Noah Weinstein, The Solar Sailor, Jesper Lawson, Anthony DC1, Ulf himself, Tony Knox, Fan-Made Easy A Store, iSun Chor, Wally WSF 88, Forrest Polk, Mike Hook 1, Thomas Einsporn, Bry Guy, Jamie Jackman, Mauricio Fuentes, Zyla Wolfbane, Quickscares.com, Natalie and Lennon, Alexander Schiller, Neil Brophy, Boris Scherl, Captain Fancy Pants, Michael Eaton, Zinterax, Modren, Stephen Cohen, Eric Haber, Connor Whitehall, Censor Eric, Connor Rosine, Paul Bishop, Travis Miosi, Jimmy Milson, Carl Williams, Trey Whetstone, Adam Damon, Matt McCarthy, Eric Crone, Sean Mackey, David Hackman, Leroy Anderson, Reed Johnson, Joetown, Manuel Thomas, Peter Wen, Luke Bennett, Eric C., Adam Scherenbrock, Not Jack, Kurzistav Rogowski, Themo Preuss, Allison Burt, Bjornar Haraldsvik, Alfredo Gonzalez, Sean De Almeida, Zach Bardsley, Chris Sleep, Kelly Malkowitz, Mokiki, Jacob Whittington, Charlie, Serial Gamer, Mike and Tasha Garcia, Wouter DeHaze, Michael Favacci, Gabriel Johansson, Eric Maynard, Cartridge Brothers, Dennis Franklin, Renee Klut, Gonzas Elite, Bernardo Del Castillo, Leon Keys, MenX64, Raymond Lee, Clay Roberts, Darren Banish, Victor Villarreal, Ritz 1906, Todd Paxton, Taggart McStone, Fast Mower, Faraz Rizvi, Dakota Hayes, Zoostick, Don Turner, Luis Carrillo, Mumble Mumbleton, Kyle Bradford, Miles Walden, Edison S. Prada Jr., Alexander Berveglieri, Corbin Bread, Marty Savage, Travis Ing, Bryce Ray Parker, Ahmed Al-Rashed, Tuttle, Beth, Furious Action Gamer, Stuart Siddall, William Kirk, Mac Reed, Connor Ross, Matt Gunther, Evan Eng, Joshua Vanswall, Eric Gustafson, Refill, Sebastian Trier, Bonnie and Jason Connor, Eric Carr, Jeffrey Daniel Lasley, Stephen Walther, Carlos Zuniga, Jesse K, Ryan Cohen, Adam Welshie Mullaney, Link666 Goron, Terrence Ireland, Simon Gauthier, Momo Rashid, M. Legend, Lance Mink, Matthias Larson, Marcus Hankins, Peds, Yanni, Richard Rinaldus91 Eiley, Justin Wenderoff, Calgareth, Eddie Reisner, Chase Caldwell, Cameron Hendry, Jesus Furman, Andrew Buchter, Rebecca Woods, Barry, Derek McCaskey, Mizek, Andrew Wanser, Adam Henry, Beautiful Kai, Hudson Bilbrey, Christ Abramian, Mac Jam, Caffeine Rage, David Kennedy, Durgesh Patel, Mike Calvi, Sarah, Philip Stadler, Anthony Daniel Galvin, Benny Samuelson, Trolls Rasmussen, Daniel Wong, Mark, James Anderson, Cheryl Stop Gert Paracchio, Wesley McDonald, Vincent Foliot, Ahab, Neobear, John Meyer, Rainier Dennis Bautista, Jordan Eves, Tetra Ninja, Alex Glass, Junyo Motomura, Jake Musser, Eric Santoy, Mithers, Ya Boy Benny B, Sebastian K, Ancient Picnic, Mons Anderson, Elvin Skogheim, Jai Aldier, Kevin DeBolt, Morgan Worth, Sam Sorensen, Shahir Khan, Matt Ferguson, Michael Tennick, Poogie Boogie, William Heaney, Krister Lundmark, Peyton Wiederspan, Chris the Pianist, Michelle Nubb, Sandra and Richard Acero, Robert Marquardt, Carlos Gonzalez, Joe Burns, Mikkel Bach Sorensen, David Tran, Monica X. Avaria, Oscar Stahl, Alan Wen, Adam Barker, Philip Klarskov Jensen, Niels Frederick Elbol, Sun Pham, Alex Monaco, Evan Anderson, Fumbles, Nuno Amaral, Twisted Heart, David Boyarsky, Rajiv Maharaj, Ciara Wheeler, Sean McKing, Dagath, Brennan Hrehorik, Joaquim Weiderberg, Christopher Santis, Marco Flores, Adam Handrick, Tarek Leham, Christian Hundorf, Andreas Koter, Egg Stravaganza, Gali Gutierrez, Cody Gear, The Fatty Show, Eric Armbruster, Jason Shields, Rickster EXE, Minimic, Julio Ruiz, Lars Berger, Lorenzo, Remy Loisel, Jordan Kirk, Christopher Dixon, Peter Shoemaker, Vannery C, Repus Edud, Irvin De La Torre, Cyberboa, Christophe Fatui, Azazel Valkyrie, Garrett Fox, Christopher Foss, Outcast Writer, Chris Bennett, Helping Leon, Self-Confessed Cynic, Roman Udolph, V. Cura Ray, Tristan Howard, Hugo Calm, Jeremiah Snowden, Dinesh Patel, Michael Agent, Materia Addict, Rob Middledorp, Robert I, K. Murdoch, Gonzalo Sands, Blastermaster, Elizabeth, Shannon Gates, Miguel Rivas, Alex Lavanier, Justin Wren, Malcolm Moschette, Adam, Robert Ori Einerson, Christopher Donnelly, Joel Short, Marco Hernandez, Gabriel Heilborn, Chad Ball, Andrew Amos, Fat Shadow, Struggler, James Thieviurge, Tense George, Joey and Kate, Raymond Chow, Alex Boken, Ian Anderson, Dan Pan 16, Tongue Surgery, C.S. Lewis, Dave Red, Trenton Robeson, Jana, Roy Sung, Kim Monk Vonderleith Hagensen Peterson, Coyle Holman, Reed Marlett, Evan Anderson, Ali Khan Sunger, Matthew Robles, Shanley Ladia, Dale A. Brule, Rerun, James Blair, Arkham Fantasy, Luis Ibarra, Dale Sun, Philip Higdon, John Ivar Carlson, Spencer Stevens, Dan Wen, Impact 93, Siahi Jabbar, Elliot Moscow, Jonas, Ivan Ponce, John Prey, Ada Warzek, Sean Essen, Sebastian Urban, Marco Zanone, Alec Church.